Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Global Digitalization. My title can be superimposed infinitely. Chapter 1. In the auditorium of Wangxi No. 1 High School, the principal was talking on stage. 300 years ago, the gate of the realm was opened, thousands of races invaded, and the lives of all people were devastated. 90% of all human beings on the blue planet were wiped out by the sudden disaster and nearly perished. Thanks to the great men from heaven and the rise of several god-level powerhouses, 50% of Blue Star's land and 20% of its oceans were brought back into human territory. Now, it's time for you to show off your skills. Unified Awakening Talent today. Everyone has 7 days to get in touch, in order to get good grades in the college entrance examination, and contribute to the great cause of human expansion. Under the stage, the students' blood boiled with enthusiasm, and they were eager to try, and couldn't wait to rush into the battlefield of 10,000 realms. Su Mu was also slightly hot, but more nervous. He was originally from Earth, but because of a car accident, his soul passed on to the Blue Star. Before the Blue Star disaster, it was 99% similar to the Earth, but after hundreds of years of suffering, another civilization has developed. Here the strong can move mountains and seas, run at a speed comparable to a train, and fly over tall buildings in one leap. Not to mention that after awakening talent, mind manipulation, invisibility, telekinesis, and teleportation are all possible. But Su Mu is very nervous. He has traveled here for 18 years, but he has not shown any special talent for cultivation. And the gold finger, which is standard for travelers, has not arrived for a long time. Although he has experienced 2 lifetimes before awakening, he is no different from other students. Okay, everyone line up and touch the awakening stone. The principal shouted from the stage. If you have awakened a B level or higher talent, a golden light will emerge. The higher the level, the brighter the golden light. Those who have obtained B level talent or above need to register in front of the stage, and others will fill out the registration form in their own class later. The students also became nervous and communicated noisily. I'm so nervous, I don't know what I will get. Look, someone has awakened. The students lined up to touch the awakening stone. The first few people touched it, but there was no response. The teacher in charge of awakening is also very used to it, and waved them away. The awakened students were immediately stopped by others and asked questions in a hurry. C level, elementary intelligence, spirit increased by 10%. It's okay, after the college entrance examination, you can change to a spellcaster, a mage priest, no melee combat, and less injuries. Well, before the college entrance examination, everyone was a casual person. Any primary skill can be used. It doesn't make much difference if the spirit is improved by 10%. But it will be useful after changing jobs. Woo! You are miserable, this talent is useless. My C-level eagle eye can see anything within 300 meters. This is not bad. Although the level is low, it is good to transfer to a support job. Suddenly, a burst of golden light ahead attracted everyone's attention. Golden light is coming out, B level and above. What is it? A girl put her hand on the awakening stone, her face full of surprise. Awakening teacher smiled. Not bad, what skill? The girl said, B-level skill, invisibility. The other students all looked envious and jealous. It's so cool, the stealth skill can be used as an assassin, and it can also be used as a supporting job to collect intelligence. I don't know whether to distort the light or force the elimination of cognition. It must be distorted light. If it is a kind of stealth that distorts cognition, it must be A level or S level. That's right, but with this skill, she has reached the pinnacle of her life, and both the Alchemy Guild and the Merchant Hunting Club are vying for it. I can't be envious, I can only wake up silently. Many people came forward to awaken, but most of them did not respond. The teacher is also very used to it and waved them away. Only when there are a few people who emit golden light will the teacher smile and record. A-level talent, flame flickering, able to flash within 50 meters, near objects above 500 degrees. B-level talent, telekinesis, I can control objects, great. B-level talent, air cannon, can condense air and fire shells. B-level talent, spiritual shock, can shock all individuals with souls. Teacher, why is the CD of this talent so long? There were several golden lights in a row, but most of them were B level, only 2 A level. Su Mu couldn't help getting nervous. He wasn't sure what level of talent he could get. In this world where the weak prey on the strong and strength is needed, only strength is the last word. At this time, a boy passed by Su Mu, snorted mockingly, and cast a disdainful look. His name is Pan Zian, his family is rich, he is a bully in the school, he bullies everyone he sees. Only Su Mu didn't give him any face. It just so happened that the principal made an inspection that day and didn't give him a chance to use the phone, which made Pan Zian feel resentful. You will know after a while that in this world, only strength is the last word. Pan Zian threw down a harsh word, swaggered up and touched the awakening stone. A dazzling golden light lit up, and everyone was stunned. S rank, the brilliance only available at S rank. Oh my god, there is an S grade in the school. That seems to be Pan Zian. That's right, his family is rich, so he must have strengthened it with special materials before awakening. I'm jealous. Teacher Awakening was also very surprised. Instead of asking on the spot, he brought Pan Zian to the cubicle. Pan Zian turned his head proudly, gave him a hard look, and wiped his neck. But no one thought it was too much. An S rank, even if he shits on the spot, must have fans. After all, it is S level. After awakening this level of talent, not to mention the God level in the future, the holy level is stable. When it was Su Mu's turn, he took a deep breath, put aside all distracting thoughts, and walked up to the stage. Put your hand on the awakening stone. Su Mu put her hand on the awakening stone, but there was no reaction at all. Teacher Awakening waved his hand, telling him to leave quickly. Su Mu froze for a moment, then left with a dull expression. But there was a storm in his heart. A text appeared in front of me. Talent has awakened. Universal Godhead SSSS level, you can wear unlimited titles, and the duration is unlimited. Su Mu was shocked. He had only heard of the SSS level. Everyone with this level of talent has become a strong one out of hundreds of millions. Everyone ignites the divine fire and becomes the patron saint of mankind. But on his own panel, it actually shows the SSSS level. No wonder the awakening stone didn't respond. How could it feel such a high-level power? Sure enough, the golden finger of the Traverser arrived late, but I finally got it. Su Mu clenched his fist. His heart was full of excitement. Wear an infinite title. What kind of ability is this? After being shocked, he began to think. Open the panel, Su Mu said in his heart. A curtain of light flashed in front of him that only he could see. 300 years ago, the gate of the world was opened, and the world entered the era of digitalization. All attributes can be converted into data, which can be accurately viewed and controlled. Everyone can also cultivate their level and put the value into their own panel to become more powerful. Su Mu, 18 years old, Constitution, 20, Strength, 23, Agility, 21, Spirit, 24, Skills, none, Equipment, none, Talent, Universal Godhead SSSS level, Title, Beginner, blessed by the Holy Blood Judge, all students from the human territory can obtain it. All attributes are increased by 5%, and the speed of gaining experience points is increased by 30%. Now there is one and only one title, and all school-aged people can get the same attribute improvement. Su Mu pondered. The Holy Blood Inquisitor is a top-level professional who has already ignited the divine fire and has a level of more than 5 digits. His ability can buff the entire group, and all school-aged people can improve their attributes and speed up the rate of experience acquisition. But for Su Mu, everyone has this title, so the significance of talent becomes less significant. How to do this? He fell into deep thought. The Universal Godhead can wear unlimited titles, so all he has to do now is to keep getting titles. Su Mu had some thoughts in his heart. When everyone has completed their awakening, there are 1,000 students in the 3rd year of high school, and there are 37 B-level students, 9 A-level students, and 2 S-level students. The principal smiled all over his face. Congratulations, everyone, you have acquired your own abilities. The college entrance examination will be in 7 days. I wish you all good luck and good grades. The students were also immersed in the excitement, and the next 7 days were for them to polish their talents so that they could better match their current skills. The principal said, "Next, please enter the secret realm of the undead god king's reappearance." Ah, no way. The students wailed for a while. Why do you want to go in again? I don't want to be beaten. The name Undead God King is also ironic. He obviously possesses the ability of immortality, but he was finally exhausted and sealed. It is said that he is still controlled by the Witch Clan, and he is killed thousands of times every day. Don't talk nonsense. The Undead God King was one of the supreme heroes back then. If he hadn't held back the 13 races, the high-level human power would have been wiped out, and the entire race would have perished. Oh, I have to go in once a year. I didn't expect to go in and get beaten up soon after the college entrance examination. The reappearance of the Secret Realm is a special secret realm shaped by the rules of time and space. After entering, you can experience the recorded event as someone else. The Undead God King was a legendary figure more than 100 years ago. In World War I, human beings suffered a disastrous defeat. The Undead God King held back 13 aliens and tens of thousands of troops by himself, leaving enough time for the only remaining high-level power of mankind to escape. In that battle, blood flowed like rivers. Not only the enemies, but also the undead kings. It is said that he was killed thousands of times and resurrected thousands of times. In the end, he was exhausted and lost, and was sealed and brought back to the Wu clan. After the human beings regrouped, they defeated the 13 clans, and even killed the native world of the Wu clan. But in the end, it was a pity that no trace of the undead king was found. And this event was sealed up by the mage who studied time and space carefully, and used it as a reappearance secret for future generations to recall. This secret place has become the identity education of all schools. Tell all the students that it is the blood shed by their ancestors that allows them to have a stable life today. After entering the secret realm, everyone has to endure the pain of being continuously attacked and killed, and experience the extremely bloody scene. Only by experiencing the pain can they remember their blood feud against other races. Su Mu has also experienced it several times and is used to it. He lined up and stepped into the secret realm normally. In a flash, a blood-red world appeared. Su Mu lowered his head and saw that he was naked from the upper body, and he had already participated in the incident as the king of undead gods. What followed was an endless fight until he couldn't stand the coma and exited the secret realm. But at this moment, a text flashed in front of Su Mu's eyes. A new title has been obtained, do you want to wear it? Su Mu was taken aback. What? He opened the attribute panel abruptly, and saw an extra title. Undead, Not Worn. Celebrate the 7-day-long holiday of National Day and enjoy reading books. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. New title. Undead, Not Worn. Immortality. Recover 10 * level plus 0.1 AP life per second. The more life lost, the stronger the effect. Immortality. You can get an extra life every 24 hours, and you can store 0.5x level times in total. Every time it is killed, it can be fully revived within 1 to 100x level meters within 1 to 60x level seconds. During resurrection, only basic time and space can be perceived. Eternity. If you lose all layers of unyielding, you will enter a weak state, all attributes will be reduced by 99%, recovery speed will be increased by 10,000%, and you will be resurrected immediately after being killed. Unyielding stacks restore attributes after recharging. Su Mu was stunned, he finally realized that his talent is strong here. After entering the secret realm of reappearance, participate in the battle of the year from the perspective of the Undead King. Correspondingly, he also won the title of Undead God King. Su Mu pressed it tremblingly. Put it on. Worn. Title. Beginners already worn. Undead worn. Su Mu thought of another sentence in the talent, the title lasts forever. So, if I leave the secret realm, I can still have this title and the ability to be immortal. Su Mu is ecstatic. As expected of an SSSS level talent, it really has a strong reason. He understood clearly in his heart that he already had a detailed plan. I know what to do. Su Mu raised his head and saw tens of thousands of foreign troops attacking in the secret realm of reappearance. Now, let's practice with you first. Principal Dao Yingqi stood by the gate of the secret realm, watching the students come out of it one by one. As soon as many people came out, they complained endlessly, saying that they had been killed many times and their bodies ached. But when he saw the principal here, he fell silent and fled in fear. Dao Yingqi is also very used to it. The secret realm of the undead king's reappearance is to make them hurt so that they can learn lessons from history. Of course, this is just a fragment of history, and the pain is only 20%. After the students leave, they wake up like a dream and quickly forget the details. In the secret realm, they saw the high-level tactics used by Death, and they would forget them after they came out, leaving only a little insight. This is also the limitation of time and space fragments. Otherwise, as long as you use the secret realm to train soldiers, you can train countless elites indefinitely. Therefore, this kind of secret realm can only serve as an educational function, testing the mind of the entrant. The principal looked at everyone's ratings after they came out. B level, B level, B level, it's not bad. I died 100 times before I fell into a coma, and my heart is not bad. This student is good, he can reach the A grade. Let me see. Is there only AC level talent, but with this kind of heart, it can be of great use in the future. Why is there still AC level? The reappearance of the secret realm has reduced 80% of the senses, and this can't handle it. Remember the name for me, and let his teacher scold him severely. The longer the student persists in the secret realm, the higher the rating. But most of them are at B level, and a few are at A level. In the past 100 years, only a few people have been able to reach the S rank, and they persisted almost to the end, reaching the moment before the God King was exhausted and sealed. These people are determined, and even if their talents are mediocre, they can still emerge in various fields. And the longer you persist, the longer you will play the undead king. Even if the memory fades quickly after coming out, he can still retain some of the insights of the god-level powerhouse. But in recent decades, there has been no S-class. The door of the secret realm flashed, and Su Mu came out. He looked up at the sky, and felt that the world was extremely beautiful, and the sun was shining everywhere, which was much better than the mountains of corpses and seas of blood in the secret realm. But after leaving the secret realm, the various abilities of the God King and the memories of being slaughtered and killed quickly faded away, leaving only a trace. Su Mu quickly checked the information panel, his eyes lit up. Title: Beginners already worn. Undead worn. Great, the title has indeed been retained. Su Mu was overjoyed. The title of Undead is exclusive to the Undead God King. This means that he already has the same power as him. In the future, as long as you don't make waves, don't be surrounded by 13 foreign races and tens of thousands of troops like the Undead God King, and be sealed in the end. It will definitely become the peak combat power of human beings, ignite the divine fire, possess infinite power, and endless lifespan. The only fly in the ointment is that the title of Undead has no damage bonus. Su Mu sighed slightly in her heart. If someone else heard it, they might scold her on the spot. The power of a god-level powerhouse is still despised, it really doesn't know how high or low it is. But Su Mu is not worried, he already has a plan in his mind, and knows how to arrange it in the future. At this time, Pan Zian came out from the inner room. The director of academic affairs at the side smiled all over his eyes. Mr. Pan, it is an honor for our school to have you. Awakening the S talent, you will definitely be invited into the elite team, and then don't forget your alma mater. Definitely, Pan Zian said perfunctorily. When he turned his head, he happened to see Su Mu walking out of the secret place, and raised his chin slightly. Director, the school won't mind if I take care of myself. The director of academic affairs followed his gaze and saw that he was a stranger. He smiled and said, of course not. An ordinary student, Mr. Pan, you can do whatever you want. An ordinary student, I don't have any impression, he is definitely not a genius, and his talent must be below B level. Being beaten up by a genius with S level talent, maybe you can still leave a good name. A memoir will be published in the future, claiming that he had a fight with a god-level powerhouse and survived. Pan Zian showed a sinister smile, and strode towards Su Mu. Seeing that the other party was still contemplating, he didn't care about asking, and just swung his fist directly at the other party's face. Pan Zian didn't show mercy at all, and he didn't give Su Mu a chance to beg for mercy. Waving his fist, he slammed Su Mu's face hard. His family spent 90% of the money to get an epic item, which allowed him to awaken the S-level talent essence extraction. This ability can extract the essence of the victim, reducing the attributes of the opponent and improving it. If not recovered in time, the enemy is permanently lowered. Pan Zian was going to do this. He punched Su Mu first, extracting the opponent's attributes. And the academic director who was standing next to him licking the dog would definitely not allow Su Mu to fight back. Then I can prostitute a lot of attributes for nothing, and Su Mu will permanently reduce the panel value. The college entrance examination is just around the corner, and there will be a difference of hundreds of people with just a little attribute. This trick is not insidious. Call. His fist slammed at Su Mu, and Pan Zian showed a vicious look. This guy doesn't give himself face, now let him try his best. But at the moment when it was about to hit, a palm suddenly stretched out. Boom! Pan Zian's fist was firmly caught. He looked up in surprise, and suddenly said in shock, "Principal." Pan Zian didn't see the principal blocking the door to the secret realm. He was about to clean up Su Mu last time, but he didn't dare to do it because the principal appeared. Dao Yingqi grabbed Pan Zian's fist, his eyes were full of anger. In broad daylight, in public, attacking classmates, what a shame. Pan Zian was startled at first, and then he thought that the current self is not what it used to be. What about the S-level talent, the principal? Why don't you just kneel and lick? He said to himself. Principal Dao, I have awakened the S-level talent now, so I can clean up AC-level talent, maybe AD-level talent. Is there a problem? The director of academic affairs just saw Dao Yingqi, ran over in a panic, and echoed, "Yes, yes, Principal Dao, Mr. Pan has a whim, and discusses with classmates. It's a trivial matter, just forget it." At this moment, Su Mu came back to her senses, and when she heard what the other person said, she was slightly angry. If the sneak attack fails, forget it. Then if the sneak attack is successful, wouldn't the skills be inferior to others? Before he could speak, Dao Yingqi said loudly, "No matter who it is, fighting in school is a violation of discipline. Pan Zian, my college entrance examination is coming soon, so I will postpone your punishment. But this violation will be recorded, and you can take care of yourself in the future." Pan Zian's face turned pale. Why is the headmaster so shameless? But he still insisted. "But I am S rank. S rank." Dao Yingqi said coldly, "Oh, you got the S-level defensive talent. Can you withstand the punishment?" Pan Zian was startled, snorted angrily, turned around and left. Dao Yingqi looked at the director of academic affairs, and said coldly, "As a teacher, he is flattering and using public affairs for personal gain. Go back and submit your resignation letter yourself." The dean's face suddenly turned pale. He was full of disbelief. What happened to the principal today? It's just a conflict between students, why should I dismiss myself? He looked at the other party's cold gaze, and dared not refuse, but still insisted, "Why, I want a reason." Dao Yingqi put his hands behind his back and said, "This Su Mu has obtained an SSS grade in the secret realm of the Undead King's reappearance." The director of academic affairs was dumbfounded, with his mouth open enough to stuff an egg. SSS grade. Why, how is it possible? The student who didn't leave was also upset. 3S grades. How did it come out? It's a bug. S-level ratings haven't been seen for decades, how could there be 3 S's? I only persisted to death 12 times, D-level rating. Oh my god, it's 6 grades worse than SSS level rating. No, isn't the highest score an S grade. At most, you can see the undead god king exhausted and sealed by 13 foreign powerhouses. How could it be higher? Dao Yingqi said lightly, "Is this reason enough?" The director of academic affairs lowered his head and said sadly, "Enough." He didn't say much, turned and left. S-level talent is very rare, but before the secret realm score SSS, it is still a little bit worse. This means that this young man, in the reappearance of the undead god king, persisted until the end and made better changes in order to get the highest SSS level. This kind of person is a dragon and a phoenix, and I can't be messed with by a little academic director. He only hated himself for not seeing enough, and mentioned the iron plate. I also pray that this Su Mu, who will flourish sooner or later, will not remember this offense. Dao Yingqi looked at Su Mu, and suddenly smiled gently, "Son, what did you do inside?" His amiable attitude was completely different from how he treated Pan Zian before. After seeing the SSS level score of the reappearance of the secret realm, Dao Yingqi was also stunned for a while. He confirmed many times that there was nothing wrong with the secret realm, and he did not read it wrong. Although this space-time fragment was shaped by a latecomer, the key factor inside is still the undead God King. This is equivalent to keeping the God King at that time until now. Only by doing actions that can be recognized by the peak God King can this rating be obtained. You know, the complete experience of what the undead God King did back then is only an S-level score. When Su Mu heard Dao Yingqi's question, she was also a little puzzled, but quickly figured it out. Oh, it's nothing. It's just that it lasts longer than the undead God King. At the beginning, Su Mu didn't understand why he got the SSS rating. But he quickly figured it out. Because of wearing the title of Immortal, Indestructible is passive, which can provide 1 extra life every 24 hours, and can store 0.5x level times in total. If you wear it for the first time, you will get one as a gift. Su Mu is now the same as all high school seniors, waiting for a job change at level 10, which means she can get 5 extra lives. The God King is estimated to be 12,000 level, with 6,000 extra lives. In other words, relying on these 6,000 lives, he forcibly held back 13 foreign tribes and tens of millions of troops. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood, bleeding and floating wars. If you can persist in the secret realm to the end, you will die 6,000 times and get an S grade. And because Su Mu has an extra life of his own, maybe the two have the same origin, so it is also counted. He felt that the undead God King fought to the end. At the end of the 6,000th life, it should have been sealed and sent out of the secret realm forcibly. But the undead God King had the last chance to fight back against the 13 alien races again, and continued to fight in the Bloody Sea. After the death of the last life, the God King still fell, and was sealed according to the trajectory in the time fragments. After all, history has already happened, and no matter how it changes, it cannot change the reality. Su Mu was also sent out of the secret realm. At the last moment, he seemed to see the King of Undead looking towards him. The eyes of the undead God King seemed to see through time. He smiled, and spit out 2 words. IQI. Dao Yingqi chanted these 2 words and nodded slightly. I see, you did a good job, you should go back first. Don't spread this matter to the outside world. You have obtained an SSS grade, and the school and the Ministry of Internal Affairs will reward you. Su Mu nodded and went home neatly. On the side, the students all exploded. My god, it's a real SSS grade. He persisted longer than the undead God King. How is it possible? Who is that handsome boy? Looks like it's from class 8, it's called Su Mu. He's so strong, he's handsome and capable, and he doesn't show off anything. I really want to be his girlfriend. What did he say Izzy? I don't know, is it the name of a person from the western region? Okay, Dao Yingqi said loudly, those who should enter the secret realm go in, those who should go home and rest go home. Just woke up, don't go out to play around, you have to go back to school tomorrow. Remember, talent is a part of strength, and the college entrance examination will be the time to test your strength after 7 days. The students were told, the whispering stopped, and they went about their business. Dao Yingqi left calmly, and he returned to the office. The moment the door was closed, a large amount of sweat suddenly appeared on his forehead. He picked up the phone, dialed it, and said excitedly, something has happened to me. There is an SSS rating in the secret realm of the Immortal King. Dao Yingqi talked about it for a while, and finally said, IQI. The fantasy of the undead king has a different behavior, and he said this name. I deeply suspect that the place where he is being held is not the Wu clan, but the stronghold city of the parasitic clan. IQI city. Su Mu suppressed her excitement and walked home. Although he has awakened the SSSS level talent, there is no one before, and there will be no one after. Moreover, he also won the title of Undead King of the Undead God. From the panel data, he will never die now. But Su Mu still tried to maintain a normal state, neither happy nor sad, and walked home as usual. The Undead God King had 6,000 lives, but he was still killed by the crowd tactics. I have just obtained the title of Immortal, and the charging of Immortal has not yet been completed. If it is too rough, the car overturns in the gutter, and someone kidnaps and seals it, then it will be over. Su Mu's eyes are firm, and she already has a whole set of improvement plans in her heart, which only needs to be gradually realized. He returned home, and as soon as he opened the door, he heard a weak voice, Big brother. Su Mu looked up and saw a girl pushing a wheelchair out of the room, smiling. Shaoan. Su Anon also smiled happily. Big brother, how about waking up today? Su Mu thought for a while, and gave an ambiguous answer, it's okay. Su Anon didn't mind either, and smirked along. Su Mu asked, what about mom? Su Anon said, still at the stall. I said to help, but my mother refused, saying that she was afraid that it would rain later. Well, it's fine if you don't go. Su Mu patted her head. Don't worry, your brother will become a professional in a short time, earning money to treat your illness. Su Anon's face darkened slightly, but she immediately smiled. Okay, then I'll wait for big brother. Su Mu smiled on the surface, but sighed slightly in her heart. Su Anon is his younger sister. She has been in poor health since childhood and has been ill. A few years ago, because of the exam, I needed some buff potions. In order to make more money, the family asked Su Anon to help out temporarily. But on that rainy day, a car accident took his father away, paralyzed Su Anon's lower limbs, and put him in a wheelchair. Since then, Su Mu has a deep sense of identity with this reborn home. He secretly made up his mind that he must let his mother live a good life, and must obtain repair props to heal his sister. Okay, then you take care of the house, and I'll go see mom. Su Mu decided to go out when she saw that the house was fine. Su Anon, okay. But they didn't know that just 2 streets away, in front of Sus mother Jingrong's stall, 2 young men came. Pan Zian sat on the booth carelessly, showing an unkind smile. Sus mother, Jingrong, runs a small noodle stall, and her business is so-so. A few years ago, a car accident took away the pillars, and she could only support the family. Fortunately, with the help of someone, Jingrong was able to buy a basic noodle blueprint and learned how to make noodles that can replenish blood. But because her level is very low, all attributes are very weak, and the pasta she makes has only a weak blood recovery effect. And this kind of food with soup is not easy to take away, and professionals are not willing to buy it. Only the nearby construction sites, as well as some low-level personnel who do hard work, are willing to spend a few more money occasionally. You can eat and restore your strength. But Jingrong is still under a lot of pressure to support Su Mu's education and to bear Su Anon's medical expenses. When she saw a young man sitting down, she immediately greeted him warmly. What do you want to eat? Pan Zian raised his eyelids and pretended to take a look. That's it, the folded beef noodles. The servant next to him snickered and said, I want beef noodles too, hee hee. Jingrong didn't suspect him, so she dealt with it quickly. Soon, the steaming hot noodle soup came out of the pot. Pan Zian took a bite, then stood up suddenly. Do you know how to cook noodles? Did you put salt in it? Snapped. He threw the whole bowl of noodles on the ground and smashed it to pieces. The servant next to him ate so fast that he had already eaten half a bowl of noodles. Seeing Pan Zian's movements, he covered his mouth and stood up, slurring his words. That's right, I don't even put any salt in, it's so unpalatable. Snapped. Again, the bowl broke. Jingrong was stunned. I put salt. Pan Zian looked at her disdainfully. Let it go. You have to taste it to see if you let it go or not. Jingrong glanced at the noodles on the ground and swallowed. It's all paste on the ground, how can I eat it? She stayed for a while before apologizing. I'm sorry, I may have made a mistake. I'm sorry, I'll cook another one. Soon, the steaming hot noodle soup came out of the pot again. This time Jingrong left a small sip of the soup and tasted it. Only after confirming that it was correct did she dare to serve it. But Pan Zian didn't even eat it, so he slapped the bowl again and threw the bowl on the ground. You look down on me, don't you? So much salt this time, trying to kill me. The attendant hurriedly took 2 more bites and dropped the bowl too. Jingrong felt sorry for Wan, and knew that the 2 young men were here to find fault, so she could only bow her head and say, I'm sorry, both young and old. How about this? I will pay, and the 2 of you will have a meal at the restaurant. Pan Zian felt a little more at ease. Today he wanted to mess with Su Mu, but the principal stepped in and failed. He asked someone to ask, and learned that Su Mu's mother set up a small stall here. And because Su Mu is more handsome, many girls will deliberately detour and come to take care of business. This made Pan Zian very upset. He deliberately came here to find fault, but within a few minutes, the woman gave up. Pan Zian felt a little pity, and he didn't care about any compensation, he just wanted to have fun again. The attendant immediately understood what he meant, and rolled his eyes. HMPH, if you want to avoid the important, take the light. How unpalatable your noodles are, the young master will teach you today. Kneel down and eat the noodles on the ground, and I will let you go. Jing Rong was petrified, and couldn't help but look at Pan Zian. The other party didn't intend to dissuade him at all, but wanted to watch a good show with a half-smile. These two people's demeanor is not simple, she is an ordinary person, how can she be an opponent? Jing Rong gritted her teeth and was about to step forward. Mom, step aside. Su Mu's voice came from the side. When Pan Zian turned his head, he showed an excited expression. Ha, I still wanted to find you, but I delivered it myself. Jing Rong said anxiously. Amu, hurry up, they are not easy. Hee, it's late. The servant has strode forward to meet him, he must behave well in front of his master. He reached out with one hand and was about to grab Su Mu's collar. Boom, everyone was stunned, they didn't expect Su Mu to take the initiative to attack. With an uppercut, he sent his servant flying. The attendant's eyeballs turned white, and his entire face was distorted. After landing from the air, he rolled twice and lost consciousness. Is he that strong? Pan Zian felt weird, but soon turned into excitement. Okay, if you dare to do something, I'm not welcome. With the nourishment of medicines and props at home, all his attributes exceeded 30. Pack a Su Mu, more than enough. Pan Zian stepped forward with a big stride, his left arm was bent, and his right hand reached for the dagger at his waist. He was about to release a charge, followed by a shadow attack. Of course, the most important thing is to immediately release the S-level talent essence absorption after being stunned. With Su Mu alone, it is impossible to retrieve the extracted attributes. Even if this person is abolished. Pan Zian's eyes were gloomy, the moment he was about to sprint. It's very lively. A male voice came from the side. Several people turned their heads subconsciously, and saw a middle-aged man with a beard standing aside. I want a bowl of noodles. The middle-aged man said to Jing Rong, then turned his head. Slap me if you need to, continue. It's not bad for young people to fight each other, but well, don't use anything other than skills. Pan Zian's face was cloudy and uncertain, did he see through his own thoughts? Pan Zian wanted to refute, but an ominous premonition arose in his heart. It seems that as long as you don't listen to the man's dissuasion, there will be bad consequences. He gritted his teeth and said, I'm an S-level talent. Are you sure you want to meddle in your own business? Several passers-by who watched the excitement suddenly exclaimed, S-level talent. Whose genius is this? He will definitely become a big shot in the future. It's a great honor to meet such a genius. It's over, that man and that kid are dead. S-level geniuses are recruited by the major forces, and they will definitely sidestep. But the middle-aged man just took the noodles indifferently, with a little empty hand. Everyone around gasped. Level 100. Pan Zian's complexion was not very good either. No matter how talented he was only at level 10, and the difference between them was 10 times. Generally speaking, level 30 is a watershed, the boundary between ordinary people and real professionals. The vast majority of people can reach this level at the highest level. If you neglect to practice, all the data will gradually regress, and finally return to the single-digit level. This middle-aged man is level 100, which shows that he is a strong man and can control things to a certain extent. Pan Zian still didn't dare to refute, since the other party just said that he didn't need talent, and didn't intend to stop him from beating Su Mu. He gritted his teeth and said, HMPH, you're dead even without talent. Pan Zian's attributes of more than 30 points are considered top in the school. He is confident that even without talent, he can easily crush Su Mu. Charge! Pan Zian strode forward vigorously, and rushed towards Su Mu with a shoulder bump. Charge can bring 0.25 seconds of dizziness, followed by a dagger attack. You are dead. In a blink of an eye, his shoulders, elbows and dagger were already in front of Su Mu. But at this moment, Su Mu moved slightly to the side. Pan Zian rushed over his head in the blink of an eye, his mind was full of disbelief. How could it be so fast? How can I fail in my skills when all my attributes are crushed? Su Mu was also slightly surprised. I see. In the past, Su Mu would not be able to defeat Pan Zian. After clearing the secret realm of the undead God King at the SSS level, he was recognized and gained a combat perception far superior to others. God King's senses, hidden passive combat intuition has been greatly improved. It's my turn. Su Mu smiled slightly, and slapped Pan Zian with a slap. Pan Zian was shocked, subconsciously escaped, and forced his body to jump back. Swish. But Su Mu moved faster and grabbed his collar, and his escape skill was forcibly interrupted. How is it possible? Pan Zian was shocked. What speed is he? He could see that the opponent's strength and agility were still inferior to his own. But if you shoot at the same time, the opponent's speed will be faster. He seems to have a kind of enigmatic calmness, able to predict every movement. Snapped. Snapped. Su Mu pressed Pan Zian to the ground, and punched him all over the face. Pull. Jump. Snapped. Snapped. Are you here to ask for trouble? Do you dare to do it again in the future? Pan Zian's face was quickly beaten into a pig's head. He wanted to escape, but he was caught no matter what, and he continued to be beaten on the ground. He could only cry. Wrong, big brother, I was wrong. I won't dare in the future. HMPH. Su Mu didn't bother to waste time, he had more important things to do, so he let go. Pan Zian was full of confusion. He didn't know why he couldn't beat him despite his S-level talent and crushing attributes. He was about to run subconsciously, but was stopped by the middle-aged man. Wait. Pan Zian turned back in fear. Yes, what's the matter? The middle-aged man pointed to the surface on the ground. Did you pay? Pan Zian resolutely threw all the money on his body in a thick pile on the table. There's no need to look for it. After speaking, he wanted to run again. Middle-aged man. Wait a minute. Pan Zian was surprised again. What else is there? The middle-aged man pointed to the unconscious follower on the ground. You won't take your friend. Pan Zian could only carry his servant on his back, and fled in a hurry. After running a certain distance, Pan Zian roared angrily. Su Mu, I am an S-level talent. Just wait for me. After speaking, he turned around and ran away in fear, for fear of being caught up. Su Mu didn't intend to chase, but just looked at the middle-aged man. Thank you. The middle-aged man had already finished his noodles and paid the money. You're welcome, he can't beat you without me talking. Su Mu didn't speak. The middle-aged man looked at him with deep eyes. From the Immortal King, have you gained something? Knowing that this matter cannot be concealed, Su Mu nodded. Well, I have gained some combat insights, and my body is more flexible. The middle-aged man smiled. Introduce yourself, Saints Club, Guo Zi. My daughter is also in your school, and told you about your SSS level customs clearance secret realm. Su Mu was slightly taken aback. Guo Zi said, we are very interested in the information you have obtained, if my friend. HMPH. A cold snort came from the side. The temple will develop its congregation honestly, and don't bother with the Ministry of Internal Affairs. A man in white came over. Student Su is still a student, this matter is our internal matter. Guo Zi frowned slightly, but before he could open his mouth, another voice came from beside him. The Ministry of Internal Affairs is not doing anything, what's the trouble here? A man in a camouflage suit with a square face leaned against the wall. Student Su must enter the Ministry of War after the college entrance examination. The man in white was angry. Wu Zeki, what are you doing? Hehe, stop arguing. An old voice came from the side. Everyone turned their heads and were surprised. Master Lu. Master Lu leaned on crutches. I think this little friend doesn't like to be bound, so come to my bounty guild in the future. All of a sudden, several major forces gathered to rob people. Several powerful people gathered in front of the noodle stall, making a lot of noise. It's impossible for such a good talent to join your war department. It's a waste to go to the front to die. So what? Greed for life and fear of death in the rear. Why don't you join my Saints Association? Fart, a group of lunatics, don't think that you are the only ones who care about the whereabouts of the undead king. Jing Rong was already dumbfounded, and passers-by were also dumbfounded. Although they didn't know these people, but listening to their words, they all knew that there must be something big. My God, who is this young man? Why are there so many people fighting for it? SSS level customs clearance secret realm. Isn't that going to make a fortune? No wonder, I want to grab it, even if it is a teaching secret realm, SSS level customs clearance, everything must be perfect, and it is impossible to achieve it without strong means. He's so young and handsome, I didn't expect him to be so strong. Su Mu looked at the group of people and smiled wryly. Everyone, I still have 7 days left for the college entrance examination, let's talk about these things later. Several people quarreled for a while before they handed over their contact information and patted Su Mu on the shoulder. Come on, boy, I will pay attention to you in the future. After everyone had left, Jing Rong said in surprise, hey, what is this? Su Mu also discovered that there were several packages on the stool of the noodle stall at some point. He opened them one by one, and found that it was a long sword, shining brightly. Military standard long sword, silver. Strength plus 10. Dexterity plus 5. Sharpness. Plus 5% damage to flesh and blood creatures, plus 5% damage to joints. Passers-by suddenly exclaimed, silverware. Silverwares cost at least 110,000 to 20,000. Is this a gift? What a generous offer. Su Mu was slightly speechless. It was obviously a gift, a bribe left by that group of people. He opened the remaining packages, revealing the contents. A soft armor, a gem, and a bottle. Wujin soft armor, silver. Stamina plus 20. Armor plus 20. Cushioning. It has a certain cushioning ability, which can absorb weak impacts, and loses this characteristic after a certain degree. Green life stone, silver. Primary recovery. Recover 5 HP every 5 seconds, continuously relieve fatigue. Skill book. Rapid slash, silver. After learning this skill, you can swing 5 swords within 1 second, and the cooling time is 5 seconds. The number of sword swings and cooling time vary depending on the attributes. Su Mu was overjoyed. This group of people was sleepy and sent pillows, which coincided with his plan. Amu, what are they doing? Why did they give such a precious thing? Jing Rong continued to be shocked, unable to believe it. Each piece of silver-level equipment must be sold in the market for more than 100,000 yuan. The skill books are more expensive, and they are all above 300,000. These gifts are more than Jing Rong's annual income. Su Mu smiled. Mom, don't worry, this is just an addition, there will be better ones in the future. Go home, I'll help you close the stall and tell you about today's affairs. In a few days, I can let you live a good life and heal my sister's leg injury. He already had a plan in mind. If you join a big force, you will get better things, but now is not the time to show off. Just wait another 7 days. But what everyone didn't know was that after Pan Zian escaped from the noodle stall, because of the wound on his face, he was too embarrassed to take the main road, so he took a shortcut and entered the alley. Why did this kid become so powerful? Pan Zian cursed as he walked, and threw his follower on the ground, making him wake up and go home by himself. HMPH, wait for me, I'm an S-level talent. I must make you look good. He didn't know that upstairs, 2 pairs of eyes were staring at him. There is someone next to the SSS rating, so it's not easy to do it. It doesn't matter, let him live for a few more days. I spent some money to bribe those students. I found out that he is a C-level talent. Then it doesn't matter, you can lower the level of danger. As long as he doesn't enter the core structure, he won't pose a threat to our family. Okay, you can wait for the right time to kill. Get rid of this kid first. He is an S-level talent and cannot be allowed to grow. It is good. Pan Zian didn't believe it before he died, because he lost his life because of his embarrassment. The next day, all the students returned to school as before, honing their skills and talents in different training grounds. B, A, and S-level geniuses naturally got attention. Is that a B-level mental shock? It's so strong, it actually shattered the mouse's brain. Wow, telekinesis, fetching objects from a distance, can you kill people with a sword if you practice it at an advanced level? The A-level space division is also very strong. It can cut off items below the mysterious level. It's a pity that only a 2 cm space crack can be created, otherwise the rating can be even stronger. Why do I only see one S-class and another Pan Zian? Maybe he's doing special training at home. His family is rich, so the school's training ground doesn't look good. Ordinary students are all envious and jealous, looking at people with advanced talents, their abilities are all getting stronger. Someone also remembered that there was another person. Where is the person who scored the SSS grade yesterday? Yes, Su Mu, Class 8, why didn't you see it? His talent is probably C level or D level. There is nothing but a high score. I saw it, Su Mu, he is watering the flowers. What? Such a tight time, what is he doing watering? The students were stunned, and a few good-natured people ran over and saw Su Mu by the flower pot. Take the watering can, and water the flowers carefully one by one. What is this for? A new practice method. Su Mu surprised everyone. Many people want to see what is so awesome about the SSS rating. But he didn't show any strength, just doing some chores. The students, Monk Jonger, couldn't figure it out. What is he doing? They looked at it with interest for a long time, but Su Mu just kept watering, leaving the gardener in charge of maintenance aside, at a loss. After a long time, Su Mu finally put down the watering can. The students suddenly became excited. Could it be cultivating Xinsheng? It's possible, people with SSS grades have different training methods. But after Su Mu put down the watering can, she borrowed the gardener's shears and trimmed the branches. Student, what is this doing again? The person who can unlock the SSS level score has such a special training method. After a while, Su Mu put down the scissors. The students cheered up quickly. Should we start training this time? Su Mu turned around and walked towards the depths of the school, with a group of people hurriedly trailing behind. But to their surprise, Su Mu communicated with the breeder for a few words, took the feed and plot tools, and went into the animal pen. The school's training ground consumes a large number of beasts every day, from mice to tigers, wolves and jackals, for students to train and test their skills. These animals do not need to be bred by themselves, they are all dispatched from special farms by the Ministry of Internal Affairs. But there also needs to be a place for temporary storage and transit. I saw Su Mu enter the animal pen, concentrating on adding food to various animals, cleaning the stains on the ground, and taking the initiative to inject the sick animals, mainly stimulants, so that they would not die of illness before being killed by the students. What is this doing? A group of people, Monk Jong-er, were puzzled. Are you crazy? The college entrance examination is only a few days away. Why don't you train hard and do chores here? HMPH, it looks like it's broken, useless waste. The students suddenly lost interest and talked a lot. From their point of view, Su Mu must have triggered some kind of mechanism to get an SSS rating by fluke. He has self-knowledge and knows that he will never achieve such a record again. On the one hand, there is an unprecedented SSS score, and on the other hand, there is a mediocre talent below B level. The huge gap made him lose confidence in his future, and he began to do other things to paralyze himself and make himself miserable. Forget it, don't waste time on this kind of person, Germany doesn't deserve it. That's right, the SSS grade score must be good luck, and we will go to clear the facts later, maybe it will be okay. Oh, don't, although the memory will fade, but it really hurt at that time. Seeing that Su Mu is quite handsome, why is his mentality so bad? It's really useless. The students quickly dispersed and ignored them. After finishing the work in the animal pen, Su Mu went to the warehouse to help with the tally. After sorting out the goods, I went to the life training ground again, asking for advice and helping my classmates who decided to change their careers. It was not until the afternoon that Su Mu finally stepped into the training ground, asked for a training dummy, and began to practice swords. Have you finally started training? Another person glanced curiously. I found that Su Mu just practiced swords normally, and didn't use extra skills. He just slashed quickly, released the CD when he had CD, and slashed the dummy normally when he was cooling down. Swipe quickly, silver level skill, he knows this move. This skill, which is not available in school, has attracted many people's interest, but it quickly fades. For hours on end, Su Mu kept using this one skill and never did anything else. People who are curious at the beginning will get tired of watching after a few hours. What does he want to do? It's just training dummies. The speed of gaining skill experience is very slow, and it is impossible to upgrade. It must have been a fluke. I got a good skill and wanted to improve my proficiency. But it's only used on dummies. At most, it can improve physical coordination, and it's useless for gaining skill experience. Crazy, this is really crazy. He is doing nothing today. The students completely lost interest in Su Mu, who behaved strangely all day long, not at all like a quasi-professional who is about to take the college entrance examination. There are only 7 days, and you are wasting time on useless things. Really crazy. But Su Mu didn't care about it. He was at school, and he still went around all the corners and did all the trivial things. And when I got home, I helped my mother prepare the ingredients for the next day all night. After finishing the work, I took 2 hours to read and spent 2 hours singing to the open space. Complicated things filled the time until late at night before Su Mu finally fell asleep. 3 days have passed like this, and now, no one is interested in Su Mu anymore, at most they cast contemptuous glances. While Su Mu continued to swing his sword at the dummy, 2 resting students were chatting. What the hell do you think he is doing? Crazy, his talent must be very weak, and he does these things to paralyze himself. It took him a few days to do an ordinary slash, could he be earning his title? You mean a junior fighter? Swing a sword 100,000 times, or be attacked 1,000 times, what else? There is another one that restores a total of 50,000 health points. Any one of the 3 conditions can get the title of Junior Warrior, and the physical attack can be increased by 5%, but what's the use of it? That's right, the title of Beginner can increase all attributes by 5%, and can also increase the speed of experience acquisition. Isn't it better than Junior Fighters? I also think that this title will only be used if there is a problem, and this thing cannot be superimposed. Su Mu is indeed brushing up titles. He has been busy these past few days just to obtain various titles that have no barriers to entry. For example, Junior Fighter, all physical damage increased by 5%. This title says whether it is strong or not, whether it is weak or not, it is better than nothing. But every student has the title of Beginner, and all attributes are increased by 5%, which increases both attack and defense, crushing in all directions. It is too troublesome for a junior fighter to do it, and no one will deliberately do this title. 3 conditions are required to complete either. 100,000 swings, 1,000 attacks, a total of 50,000 HP is recovered. As long as you live long enough, you can always complete it by recovering 50,000 health points. But even if it is completed, it only increases physical damage by 5%, and there is no need to wear it. But Su Mu is different, he can wear infinite titles. Now he can wear the Junior Warrior title, gaining 5% physical damage. After spending some more time, you can make intermediate fighters, advanced fighters, elite fighters, and combat masters. The higher the title, the more bonuses, and even extra special effects. Some strong people can upgrade their titles of warriors to the legendary level, and even summon ancient heroic spirits out of thin air, forming an army by themselves. Now Su Mu needs to keep slashing and slashing with his sword in order to quickly make a title. The title system is divided into elementary, intermediate, advanced, elite, master, epic, legend, myth, and supreme. In the later stage, Su Mu can even stack 9 titles at the same time. That power is afraid to destroy the world. Su Mu, the principal is looking for you. A person passed by and shouted. Although slashing quickly does not consume mana, it will consume stamina. Su Mu just drained her energy and needs to rest and recover her strength. With the green stone of life presented by a certain force, his physical recovery speed is faster than before. Su Mu arrived at the principal's office, where Dao Yingqi had been waiting for a long time. He handed out a card. You have obtained the SSS grade for reappearing the secret realm. This is a reward from the school, and there are 3 million yuan in it. Su Mu nodded without refusing. The family really needs money, there is no need to be fake and clean. Dao Yingqi said, the money is not too much, and I hope you will not be distracted by these foreign things, and prepare well for the college entrance examination. In addition, I have also applied for an opportunity for you to enter the killing secret. He stretched out his hand, and a blood-red spar was placed on the table. Killing realm. Su Mu was a little curious. Dao Yingqi nodded. Yes, killing secrets are divided into levels, and this spar allows you to enter level 10 killing secrets. There are no rules in it, all you have to do is kill as many monsters as possible to get a higher score. According to the current information, if you get a grade A and below, you can get weapons, equipment, and props. Below A level, Su Mu asked, that means there are A-level and above. Dao Yingqi nodded. Yes, the only S-grade rating was obtained by Heiyu 15 years ago. According to what he said, he has received the blessings of heaven, and his various perceptions have greatly improved. I heard that your sister has physical problems. Try to get an A or B grade. Maybe there are special medicines. Su Mu's eyes brightened. Above S rank, can I still get medicine? Dao Yingqi laughed. Above S level. No one can reach it. Maybe if you score at SSS level, you will be awarded the title of Master of the Secret Realm. Who knows? Heiyu has been blessed by heaven. It has only been 15 years, and he is already the pillar of the front line. Don't be delusional. People's hearts are not enough to swallow elephants, you have to be down to earth. Also, if you meet fellow human beings, help as much as you can. Su Mu nodded, and began to think in her mind. Ahem, that's right. Dao Yingqi cleared his throat. I heard that you have been idle for the past 3 days. Idle around. Su Mu didn't expect that his affairs would reach the principal's ears. Dao Yingqi said, there are still a few days left for the college entrance examination. Now focus on running in and don't waste time doing chores. In case the grades are not good, in the future. He didn't finish his sentence, but his tone was full of warning. If you fail the college entrance examination, you will have plenty of time to do handyman. Or, be a handyman for the rest of your life. Su Mu didn't argue, but just nodded. Principal, don't worry, I have a sense of proportion. Seeing his persistence, Dao Yingqi couldn't help but sighed in his heart. His tone was dissatisfied, and he hated Iron for being weak. That's good, but I hope you can correct yourself and do your job well. Of course, Su Mu can't confess his talent. What he has to do now is to get all the titles that can be obtained within a few days before doing that. For example, if you are a gardener, you can get a junior gardener. Your ability to understand plants increases by 5%, and your proficiency with sharp tools increases by 5%. By helping the stable manager, you can get a junior animal trainer. Understanding of beast habits increased by 8%, damage increased by 3%, and all attributes in the wild environment increased by 1%. To do handicrafts, you can get a primary maker. The production speed is increased by 5%, and the quality is increased by 5%. Hidden. Reduces damage received by 2%. While preparing ingredients at home, you can get a junior chef. The quality of food and beverages will increase by 10%, the understanding of knives will increase by 3%, and anatomy will increase by 8%. In addition, there is also a junior singer obtained by singing. The speed of spell singing is increased by 5%, and the probability of being interrupted is reduced by 8%. Picking roadside berries to obtain primary collectors. Collection efficiency and accuracy increased by 5%. Hidden. Agility increased by 2%, spirit increased by 2%. Hold your breath to get primary diving. Lung capacity increased by 15%, stamina increased by 3%, and physical exertion decreased by 5%. Chapter 11. These title bonuses seem to be small, and there are not many people who specialize in brushing them. If it is a life professional who is full-time here, it is easy to brush up the skills to the intermediate level or even the advanced level. But when these titles are superimposed, there will be a qualitative change. Su Mu's single attribute can be easily increased to more than 30%. The total damage, total defense, and total consumption can also be increased to about 20%. For the early stage with poor attributes, it is already equivalent to 1 or 2 pieces of gold-level equipment. In front of peers, it can already be said to be crushing. Even if he didn't have the sense of the God King obtained after clearing the SSS level, with the current Su Mu, he could still hit a few Pan Xian casually. And this consumes only 7 days. But this is not enough. It is relatively simple to obtain the junior title, but it takes more time and effort from the beginner to the intermediate level. For Su Mu now, the time is too late. What he is doing now is laying the groundwork, everything is for the future arrangements. Okay, you can go back. Dao Yingqi sighed, but still told him resentfully, you must train hard, do you hear me? Okay, Su Mu replied. He practiced the sword all afternoon, and then continued to use the lowest consumption primary spell, Lightning Strike, on the dummy. This made Dao Yingqi a little satisfied, thinking that this kid still listened to it. It's not that I look down on life professions, but now that thousands of races are invading, there are many strong people. Only by continuously producing high-quality combat professionals can we gain a firm foothold in the war. But the next day, Su Mu still wandered around in various places, and started training in the afternoon. Snapped. Dao Yingqi was so angry that he slapped the table with a slap. I'm so mad. I'm really mad. The man in white opposite him also shook his head. In 130 years, the first and only SSS rating. I thought it would be something special. The Ministry of Internal Affairs was very interested in robbing people from the Ministry of War. Now it seems. Dao Yingqi sighed. I also thought he would be a good seed. He regretted a little, thinking that he should hang himself, and then give Su Mu the keystone of the killing realm. Although the keystone is precious, there is no need for the principal to compete with the students. He was only worried that Su Mu would be killed if she went in with such a foolish attitude. The man in white also lost interest. Okay, I'll go back too. You only have 2S ranks this year, and the Ministry of Internal Affairs probably won't be able to compete with the Ministry of War. Dao Yingqi nodded. Have you found out about Yiki? That was the special information brought out by Su Mu, the only time that there was an accident in that piece of time that was used to reappear the secret realm. The man in white shook his head. It's difficult, the parasites are multiplying too fast, we can't occupy the hinterland, and now IQI has been cut out. However, a hidden professional has been sent, go in and see if there is any news. Dao Yingqi nodded. Okay, I'm just a teacher, and I can only help here. The man in white smiled. Not only that, if the news is wrong and the precious hidden professional falls, your student will also be involved. Dao Yingqi's complexion changed. He just provided information. The man in white smiled unchanged. Just. Then in the end, you will be responsible, or me. Okay, let's go. After finishing speaking, he turned around and left, leaving behind Dao Yingqi, who was somewhat regretful. Similar conversations also occurred inside and outside Wangxi No. 1 High School. People in different clothes got up and left after talking on the phone. It seems that the SSS grade score is a fluke. At present, it seems that there is no need to pay attention to it. People from different forces looked at Su Mu, who was cleaning and distinguishing the beasts in the animal pen, with regretful expressions. It's a pity that a potentially good seedling has an unstable mentality, and it will be embarrassing to use in the future. Su Mu didn't know this. He still went his own way and worked hard to complete various titles. Finally, on the 6th day, all the titles that can be obtained so far have been obtained. Character panel, Su Mu said, and a light curtain immediately appeared in front of him. Su Mu, level 10. You can continue to gain experience points after changing jobs. Constitution, 70. Strength, 66. Agility, 59. Spirit, 71. Skills, rapid slashing, primary skills charge, slash, lightning strike, shadow attack, cleave, fireball, aiming and shooting, etc. Equipment, military standard long sword, silver, black gold soft armor, silver green stone of life, silver. Talent, universal godhead, SSSS level. Title, beginners already worn. Undead, worn. God King senses, hidden passive. Junior gardener, worn. Junior warrior, already worn. Junior spellcaster, worn. Junior beastmaster, worn. Junior maker, worn. Junior chef, already worn. Junior gatherer, already worn. Beginner diving, already worn. Junior seeker, worn. Junior singer, already worn. Only display the panel once, and will not bring water words in the future. Su Mu looked at a lot of titles and smiled in relief. The hard work of several days was finally not in vain. Your own attributes plus the attributes provided by the equipment plus the bonus provided by the title. Let your own attributes crush the students of the same level by 1 to 2 times. This is also because these titles are all primary. The title of Undead does not provide damage and panel bonuses. As long as you let yourself get the title of increasing damage, the panel will be turned upside down. The next day, in No. 1 Middle School in Wangxi, Principal Dao Yingqi called everyone together to mobilize. Tomorrow is the college entrance examination. I hope everyone will be calm and get good grades. Hey, where is Su Mu? Why is he still fumbling around at such an important time? Su Mu was standing at the gate of a secret realm at this time, and she was fully prepared to step into it. Today I have a lot to do. Su Mu only felt a flash in front of her eyes, and she entered a dark and hazy world. The Peak of Bloodthirst, this is a special secret realm of all levels and connected to the whole world. The core consists of the Blood Desire Arena and the Road to Madness. Its secret gates are distributed in many cities, and there is one in the deserted city. Why is there a little guy? What are you doing wearing a mask? Someone shouted. Before entering, Su Mu put on a ghost mask to hide all the information that could be hidden. Now is not the time to be exposed. The man was dressed in gray clothes and was the guard here. He frowned. Level 10. What are you doing here on the Peak of Bloodthirst? How dangerous is it here? Where's your parents? Where's your teacher? There are special mechanisms here to see the ranks. Su Mu said calmly, I'm alone. The guard frowned. Forget it, there is no rule that level 10 is not allowed to enter. I'll take you there, just keep your eyes open, don't get involved. There is still a long way from the gate of the secret realm to the Blood Desire Arena. The gate is guarded by human forces and is the safest place in the world, but the way to the arena is not certain. The Bloodthirsty Peak secret realm will not attack any outsiders, and the danger comes from other ethnic groups. That's right, this secret realm is not only distributed in the human territory, but also spread to many foreign territories. Those ethnic groups that have blood feuds with humans are very interested in killing activities. Captain Tien, there's no need, I'll take this young man there. A voice came. A man and a woman walked in through the gate of the secret realm and said to the guard. When the guard saw the man, he also raised his brows. Okay, Shui Wenwu, please. The man named Shui Wenwu smiled and waved his hands. It's a small matter, I just happen to be there too. Shui Wenwu is level 70, and his occupation is Snow Scholar. The girl's name is Ding Mi, level 50, and her occupation is Light Attendant. These two are more than enough to bring a level 10 rookie. Moreover, if a foreign race sneaks into the human guard range, it means death. No one would do this, wasting a life to kill a small character at level 10. Ding Mi looked at Su Mu curiously, not understanding why low-level professionals would come here and wear a ghost mask. But Shui Wenwu stretched out his hand and said with a smile, let's go, kid, let's go over there. He seems to be gentle, but in fact he has the charity of the superiors to the inferiors. Su Mu shrugged and didn't say anything, she couldn't reach out and hit the smiling face. There happened to be a guide, so he followed the two to the Blood Desire Arena. With the presence of outsiders, Shui Wenwu's desire to perform is stronger. He seems to be popularizing the origin of this secret realm to Su Mu, but he is actually showing off his knowledge in front of Ding Mi. The Peak of Bloodthirst is one of the most special secret realms. Private fighting is not allowed here. Once discovered, they will be hunted down by the strong. Of course, except for the Blood Desire Arena and the Road to Madness, other areas are not under the control of the natives. That grimace, you'll just sit there obediently later, just pass it by. Su Mu glanced at him and didn't bother to answer him. In this way, there were no emergencies along the way, and the three arrived at the bloody arena. At first glance, this place looks no different from an ordinary indoor fighting arena with a rough wooden structure. But in fact, the superb space-time rules are used, and the ring-shaped room that can be seen at a glance can accommodate tens of millions of viewers. And the fighting stage in the middle can also carry out tens of thousands of rounds of battles at the same time and at the same position. Each round is superimposed together for the audience and the most powerful people on the Bloodthirsty Peak to enjoy. As soon as the few people entered, various creatures on the nearby seats cast unfriendly glances, but none of them dared to make a move. As soon as Su Mu stepped into it, he felt his blood dry up and his mood became excited. This is the exposed rules of Bloodthirst Peak, we must pay attention to it. Shui Wenwu said proudly, seemingly telling Su Mu, but actually showing off his knowledge in front of Ding Mi. Sit here with us later, watch the gladiatorial fight, and send you out later. Su Mu suddenly pointed to a piece of animal skin in the distance. What is that? Shui Wenwu looked at it. Oh, it's the paperwork board for signing up for the competition. Su Mu nodded. He checked the guide, but this was the first time he saw the real thing. Don't worry, it doesn't matter if you don't participate. Hey, where are you going? Shui Wenwu yelled. Su Mu strode towards the writing board. As soon as he touched the animal skin, he heard a rough voice in his head. Registration successful. Shui Wenwu was shocked. What are you doing? Going up as a life and death wrestling. Aliens will not hold back humans, and it is possible to eat them on the spot. Forget it, you're only level 10, and there are very few low-level contestants here, so it shouldn't be enabled. You go back. Leaving before the start of the game is considered a waiver, but you can no longer enter in the future. Ding Mi said with concern. Let's send him out. Shui Wenwu said. Send me a fart. Hands and feet, it's a miracle that this kind of person doesn't die. Let's see how lucky he is on the way back. Ding Mi was a little puzzled. She felt that this young man was very calm, not the kind of person who would cause trouble. Shui Wenwu was getting impatient. Let's go, leave him alone. The game probably won't start, let's see him on his way back. Su Mu's body flashed and disappeared on the spot. In the next second, it appeared in the arena. Shui Wenwu was also taken aback, and clapped his hands. This kid is really unlucky, there must be several people who signed up, and he happened to be the top of the 5th person, so he was put on the stage so quickly. Ding Mi anxiously said. What should I do, can you save him? Shui Wenwu sneered. Save. How to save? This is the rule of the secret realm, only insects and ants in the secret realm, if you are not careful, it will be extremely poisonous. Su of the arena. Ha, there is a human bug, only level 10. Not bad, you can eat meat quickly. A monster with shark fins on its back said. Su Mu looked up at the sky. Sure enough, it's exactly the same as what the guide said. The language rules here allow unlimited communication. Weak mud algae, what are you mumbling about? A 2-meter-tall green slug said. He's mine, don't fight. A carapace-covered monster said. Fart, I can kill him. A zombie monster roared. Su Mu looked around and found that this group of monsters were all level 20, no more, no less. On the stage, Shui Wenwu shook his head. It's hopeless, his luck is too bad, there are no 10th level competitors, so we put him in the 20th level group. Don't look, it's dead. Ding Mi was a little anxious, but there was nothing he could do. In the arena, the shark fin monster couldn't hold back anymore, and rushed towards Su Mu quickly. Boom! Su Mu was unprepared and was sent flying. He fell to the ground, motionless. Shark fin said arrogantly, trash. Ding Mi stood up. He's dead. Shui Wenwu shook his head. Otherwise, a level 10 kid, what miracles can we expect? Soon, the remaining 4 monsters on the stage began to fighting into a group. Ding Mi couldn't bear it, but continued to watch, hoping for a miracle. Don't look, a guy who is overestimated, don't be so thoughtful. Shui Wenwu said. As long as you think about it in your mind, you can see other battles, but you can only see those that do not exceed your own level. Actually, if that guy doesn't go up, it's for nothing. He doesn't know how much he weighs, and he can only watch level 10 wrestling when he comes. Where do you see people from level 10 coming to this place? Soon, the winner was decided on the stage. Sharkfin won the melee as he panted and shredded the slug and left him covered in blood. The zombie was poisoned all over its body, its limbs were covered with wounds, festering and pus were festering, and its nerves were paralyzed and unconscious. But fortunately, it won, and a miserable victory is also a victory, and it will be able to go out soon for treatment. Shark Fin trembled uncontrollably and stood in the middle of the field. 1 second, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, Shark Fin. It couldn't help roaring, I have won, send me out. Unwavering voices came from all around. There are 2 living creatures on the stage. Shark Fin was taken aback, looking at the 4 opponents he had killed. How is it possible, I am the only one now? The unwavering voice did not appear again, but Su Mu's voice came from behind the shark's fin, kneel or die. Startled, Shark Fin stumbled and turned around. Seeing that it was Su Mu, it turned pale with fright. Why are you still alive? My blow, you can't survive. Su Mu smiled. Unfortunately, I am special. His stats are not high now, and Shark Fin is also a small powerhouse of his own group, which really killed him. But with the uniqueness of the undead, every time he is killed, he can be resurrected at will within 600 seconds and within a range of 1000 meters. So Su Mu waited until there were several 20-level opponents, and only the last one remained, before jumping out brazenly. The abilities of several opponents are not bad, and Shark Fin used the desperate style of play because it misjudged the number of remaining players. Nearly dying to win. Now, it is impossible for a dying level 20 to surpass the level 10 supermodel. On the stage, Ding Mi jumped up. He is still alive. Shui Wenwu's eyeballs almost popped out. How is it possible? His chest was sunken just now. How could he be alive? Ding Mi stretched out his hand, and quickly said, "The rules cut off perception, but judging from his performance, his vitality is very strong. It must be some kind of feigned death skill. Great, these monsters underestimated the enemy when they saw level 10, and they just happened to be used." Su Mu pulled out the silver rank longsword, and there was no suspense in the future battle. The Shark Fin struggled to resist for half a minute, and was cut into several pieces in the swift swing. A calm voice came from all around. "Humans, win." There was an uproar in the auditorium. Whether it was humans or foreigners, they all whispered in surprise. Level 10 actually survived in front of 4 level 20s. This is really unprecedented, the first time I saw it. The unwavering voice came out again. "Please choose rewards." 1. The title of Bloodlust Strong. 2. Equipment, props, and skill books that meet the level. Please choose the rewards. 1. The title of Strong Blood Desire. 2. Equipment, props, and skill books that match the level. After Ding Mi was excited, he asked curiously, "What is the title of the arena Strong?" Shui Wenwu shook his head. "It's useless, it's just trash. See the small room over there. After obtaining the title, there will be an exclusive viewing room, with food and drinks, and better medical treatment. Oh, and you can also choose a small follower. It's useless. Let's not talk about food and drink. If you are injured here, you will return to the mother world for serious injuries. You can just bandage up minor injuries. You don't need them at all. There are also attendants, who serve you tea and water, and take you to see the scenery of the bloodthirsty peak. It's fine if you can't enter the arena to help in the battle. When you return to Blue Star, the title will automatically disappear, so the followers will not. I will follow back to the mother world. I can only enjoy the service here, so there is no need for fart." Shui Wenwu said contemptuously. Only at the very beginning, there were a few idiots who didn't check any information. Would they foolishly think that Blood Desire Strong is such a good thing? At this moment, Su Mu said in the arena, "I choose the title." Shui Wenwu. Ding Mi asked curiously, why did he choose the title? Is there any hidden reward? Shui Wenwu is now completely convinced that this is a lucky fool, fart. He must have heard the sound of Blood Desire Strong, and thought it was something awesome. Hey, I'm so lucky, I managed to fool a few people at level 20 by relying on my low level. I dare say, with this lesson learned from the past, if someone fights in the future, they will definitely make up for it. Ding Mi nodded half understanding. Su Mu heard a voice in his ear. Acquired a new title. Strong Blood Desire Not Worn. Blood Desire Strong Not Worn receive preferential treatment in the Blood Desire Arena, have an exclusive viewing room, and can enjoy unlimited food and drinking water. Medical services are half price, and the effect is better. 1 follower can be recruited, only local life. Continue to participate in gladiatorial battles to increase the title. Su Mu smiled slightly, and the goal was achieved. His eyes blurred, and he appeared in front of the writing board again. Ding Mi hurried over. How are you? Su Mu was a little surprised, but this girl cared about him just by chance. But remember, during the chat just now, she introduced herself as a light attendant. Maybe it's a professional characteristic, treat people friendly. Su Mu nodded. It's okay. Ding Mi applied several healing techniques on Su Mu, and said warmly, next time, don't touch me carelessly. Su Mu nodded. Okay. His goal has been achieved, and there is no need to take the risk to compete again. There was nothing wrong with the process, but it's a pity that a life wasted, and it can only be replenished at 0-100 today. If anyone else knows, I'm afraid they will scold her. Anyone who participates in the bloody gladiatorial battle is not risking their lives. This is to win unscathed, and to be a good boy if you get it cheap. But it was also because Su Mu had a complete plan and all the processes were within expectations, so he could easily win. Seeing these two people chirping at me, Shui Wenwu was immediately taken aback, walked to the middle, and stood in front of Su Mu. We will go to the Road of Madness later, are you coming? Su Mu shook her head. I still have something to do. Ding Mi looked at the time. It's already the opening time, why don't you take a look and learn more? Su Mu thought for a while, then nodded. Okay, I'll take a look and then go back. The Road to Madness is not in Su Mu's plan, and he doesn't intend to create extra problems. But it doesn't take much time to take a look, and you can collect some information for future use. Shui Wenwu muttered. Going back by myself, I don't know if I'm lucky enough to live. Ding Mi didn't hear clearly. What? Shui Wenwu smiled immediately. It's nothing, let's go, take our friend there. Soon, several people left the Blood Desire Arena and arrived at the Road to Madness. This looks like an ordinary gravel road, but you can only see 10 meters ahead. Further outside, there is a black mist, inside there are ghosts crying and wolves howling, and there seem to be endless roars of monsters. Shui Wenwu showed his insight. This is the Road to Madness, Meyer, it's up to you. Ding Mi took out his staff and cast several buff spells on Shui Wenwu. Environmental resistance. Be determined. Holy protection. Guardian of the Holy Spirit. Goddess grace. Shui Wenwu exuded colorful lights, and he looked like a god of thunder becoming immortal. The Road to Madness has no real danger. Unlike the Blood Desire Arena, it attacks the heart. When you step on this road, your mind will have endless hallucinations, constantly invading your mind. The further in, the greater the impact, but the better the reward. If you have a mental breakdown, you will be teleported outside and get a reward for that distance. Some people want to rely on speed to rush to the innermost point in one go, exceeding the limit they can bear. But after he was sent out, he was completely insane, his thinking was completely destroyed, and he lost all his sanity. As Shui Wenwu said, he glanced at Su Mu contemptuously. So, only those with mature and determined minds can set foot in it. His subtext is, that person is me, but unfortunately no one joins in. After Ding Mi used the buff, he looked at Su Mu curiously as he walked to the side of the road. Do you want to go in? Seeing that Ding Mi paid attention to Su Mu, Shui Wenwu's eyes immediately burst into flames. Hey, I'm going in today. At this time, Su Mu came to the edge of the path of madness, and took 2 tentative steps towards it. Ding Mi ignored Shui Wenwu at all, but looked at Su Mu intently. She was very curious about how far this person who won the gladiator at level 10 could go. Su Mu walked a few steps in, feeling the heat in her heart increasing, and there was a whimper and moan in her ear. But soon, hallucinations appeared in front of his eyes. He saw his sister get out of the wheelchair, stand in front of him, reach out to him, inviting him to enter the deeper road. He saw grotesque figures, with dozens of arms growing on them, and each hand was doing different jobs. He saw a huge tree full of fruit. But when I got closer, I realized that those fruits were all heads. But he felt how beautiful and kind these things are, and he really wanted to touch them with his own hands. Su Mu woke up suddenly, looked down, and saw that she had passed through the black mist. He turned back without hesitation, and left the Road of Madness in 3 steps and 2 steps. As soon as he walked out of the road, Su Mu immediately felt light in his head, and the whisper just now disappeared instantly. He called up the panel to check the details. In just a few seconds, sanity dropped to 92%, a loss of 8%. If you walk a few dozen steps further in, your sanity will plummet, and it is not impossible to clear it. At that time, even if the road will be sent out, but I don't know what it is. Seeing Su Mu, Shui Wenwu backed away within a few seconds, pretending to be concerned. Huh? Why don't you go in? Did you see something? Ding Mi was also concerned. What's wrong? Su Mu shook her head. It's okay, I've seen it too, thank you for your guidance, see you soon. Without hesitation, he walked away without delay. Ding Mi felt a little regretful. Okay, see you later. This person was wearing a mask, obviously unwilling to reveal his identity. May not be seen in the future. Shui Wenwu disdainfully said. HMPH, now that I know myself better, why don't I go any further, why are you so afraid of death? Ding Mi blinked. How about I withdraw the buff? Don't, Shui Wenwu hurriedly said. don't withdraw, I'm afraid of death, just do it. Su Mu first returned to the Blood Desire Arena and entered the exclusive room titled Blood Desire Powerhouse. An old human appeared. Dear strong man, do you need food and water? Su Mu has read the guide and knows that this old man is not a human being, but an illusion according to the rules of the secret world. He shook his head. No, I want to recruit followers. The old man waved his hand, and different types of creatures appeared in the sky. Dear strong man, please choose. Su Mu had been prepared for a long time, and said directly, the Eye of Nothingness. Yes, the old man said. In the next moment, a light blue luminous sphere appeared in front of Su Mu. Following the old man's prompt, he provided blood and signed a contract with the luminous sphere. Su Mu quickly felt the new perspective, starting from the luminous sphere, the panoramic view that spreads outward. The Eye of Nothingness, in the Guide to the Peak of Thirst, some people mentioned this creature, but they all expressed regret that they shouldn't have made such a stupid choice. The Void Eye, as the name suggests, is a void creature with no substance. On the Peak of Thirst and Blood, private fights are not allowed in the core area, and the only role of followers is to serve tea and water, beat their backs and pinch their feet. And the Eyes of Nothingness, which has no entity, is even more useless. No matter in the auditorium or in a separate room, you can watch the gladiatorial battle completely through the special space law. Then use this Eye of the Void. Just take off your pants and fart, it has no effect at all. The only use is to look at the scenery with a panoramic view in places other than the Blood Desire Arena and the Road to Madness. But in the extra area, almost no races set foot. Whether it is the raging flames that can incinerate legendary strongmen, or the wind that can crush even spirit bodies, many races in the 10,000 realms are discouraged and find it difficult to develop their power. So, why risk your life and choose such trash as the Eye of the Void? As long as this thing can't bring out the Peak of Thirst blood, it is completely useless garbage. But, Su Mu smiled slightly, the Eye of the Void is used by me in the form of a contract. If the speculation is correct, I can still wear the Bloodlust Strongman after I go out to summon it. He left the Bloodthirsty Peak secret realm cleanly, and the road was very safe because of the panoramic surveillance of the Eye of Nothingness. At the door, Captain Tien saw Su Mu and was slightly surprised. Why did you come back alone? Boy, you're lucky. Su Mu nodded to him politely and left the secret place. Back in the deserted city, his mobile phone received several messages in an instant, most of which were from his classmates. Where are you? The principal couldn't find you, so he was very angry. Come back to school, it's the last day, don't make the teacher angry. You are finished, be careful that you will be put on small shoes tomorrow, haha. Su Mu shook his head and turned off the phone. Busy today. He hurried on his way to the Heroes Memorial Hall in Wangxi. Here, there is a mystery of recurrence. There is only an old man who lost his teeth guarding the gate of the Heroes Memorial Hall. He just gave Su Mu an extra look and allowed him to enter without stopping him. Come alone. There are fewer and fewer young people who still think about old guys. Su Mu entered the Memorial Hall of Heroes, which is no different from an ordinary museum. There are various items of famous professionals, and the time and overview of important battles are written. He didn't stop on his feet, and quickly walked to the innermost point. There is no one in the Memorial Hall. If there is no mandatory tour requirement, no one would want to see these old-fashioned things. In the eyes of young people, it's better to go to a few more secret realms, maybe you can get powerful skills and equipment, and soar into the sky. Su Mu walked to the end and stood in front of a secret gate. The dark purple vortex door gave off an ominous atmosphere. The sign on the side reads that this is also a reappearance secret realm created by a famous saint-level powerhouse after his fall. During a mission, this strong man was attacked by the Ghost Clan, and eventually lost to death. At the end of his life, he activated the forbidden spell and took away all the ghosts. When the human reinforcements arrived, they only saw a memory crystal protected by a mana shield on the ground, recording the situation at that time. Relying on the information left by this strong man with his life, human beings have mastered some of the weaknesses of the Ghost Clan, and have achieved a lot of results afterwards. And Su Mu naturally wanted to play this strong man, so as to get his title. But this reappearance secret realm is different from the Undead God King, and consists of two parts. After entering, you can't directly watch the scene from the perspective of that strong man. Because the forbidden spell is too powerful, it also interferes with the memory crystal. People can only extract the time of another person on the battlefield at that time, and splicing his experience with the experience of the strong, thus creating a compound recurrent secret realm. Therefore, only through the experience of another person can the natural flow of time be used to restore it to the time when the strong man made a move. But the one in front died earlier, and in the real history, there was no strong person to be seen. So it is equivalent to forcibly repairing the time flow in the fragments of time and space, and forcibly connecting the two histories together. This will cause a strong counterattack by the rules of time and space, which is reflected in the more violent attacks of the ghosts on those who enter the secret realm. Being able to use the perspective of the previous person to see the strong alive has become a very difficult thing. Over the past 80 years, only a handful of 2 or 3 people have achieved it. And these few people naturally became the mainstay. Although Su Mu obtained the only SSSS level talent, it has only been 6 days and it hasn't developed yet. He has self-knowledge, but relying on himself, it is impossible to complete the previous journey, and he will definitely fail and be sent out. If you can't see that strong man, it's like doing nothing. So Su Mu made all the preparations. He took a deep breath and stepped into the secret realm of reappearance. The surrounding environment changed, and Su Mu appeared at the foot of a mountain. The surroundings are eerie. Looking up, the mountain is majestic and steep, with jagged rocks and very steep. The environment was cold, and terrifying howls could be heard in the wind. The Ghost Clan has already started to act, and the time in the space-time fragments has begun to flow. Su Mu lowered her head to confirm that she had changed, with different clothes and equipment. Panel, he called out, and a light curtain appeared in front of him. All skills, equipment, talents, and titles are there and can be used at any time. Time has a rate of change. As long as you don't do too much exaggerated behavior, such as leaving the battlefield to strangle a villain who is still in its infancy, you will not be rebounded. Su Mu only needs to follow the general process, let the professional he plays live as long as possible, and then meet the strong man on the top of the mountain. Yin Anzun, a level 99 silver swordsman, talent A level cutting. He can now temporarily use the skills and talents of this professional. For some people, entering the reappearance secret realm can also feel advanced, or other professional skills, and maybe they can have insights. But there is a problem with this. Those who can be made into a secret realm usually die a miserable death. In addition, the memory will quickly blur after going out, and no one wants to suffer. Su Mu continued to look down. Skills UU / Meteor Strike, Star Silver Step. Title. Retracing Master. This person has a special title. Title obtained. Backtracking Master, not worn. Retrace Master. You can retrace the cooling time of any ability, and the cooling time of this talent is determined by the cooling time of the retracing ability. Su Mu was overjoyed. This was a windfall. He didn't intend to get anything here, and he didn't expect there to be surprises. Recall the cooldown time of any ability, that is to say, the active skills given by talents, skills, and titles can all be restored. Well, this skill is very strong. Su Mu couldn't help but look down again. It's a pity for this Yin Anzun. He has a special title, but his life is too short. This skill is not very powerful in the early stage. For example, Su Mu's only silver skill is the Rapid Slash, with a 5-second cooldown. This skill restores the CD and can be released twice at the same time. Then wait for the next 5 seconds, and it can be released twice. It sounds good, but in actual combat, it is to allow a skill to have 2 chances to cast spells. Works, but limited. Su Mu glanced at the top of the mountain, and the weather was getting more and more gloomy. If even the forbidden spell can be recovered, use it twice in succession. Yin Anzun, unknown in history, everyone only knows that he is a stronger cannon fodder, and he is gone before the strong can make a move. If it wasn't for the fact that he was the closest to the strong man and just able to connect to the fragments of time and space, he would have been even more unknown. From Su Mu's point of view, he just died too early, his whole body skills are average, and his talent is not surprising. At level 99, relying on the title of retrospective teacher, it is not a big problem to go up to 10 or 20 levels. But in a battle where the strong fall, it's still not enough. Su Mu also secretly made up her mind to be more on the safe side. Although it is certain that it can be immortal, if it is really sealed, it will also suffer. Su Mu took a deep breath and stepped up the stone ladder in the mountain. There was a dark wind blowing around, and he could hear screams from a distance. It's the ghosts. The ghosts are here. The environment quickly became icy. Su Mu turned her head and saw stars and light blue lights shining in the sky in the distance. It was a spirit stealer of the ghost race, fast, good at scouting, and stealing the souls of living things. Leaping Moon Slash. Su Mu activated the Silver Swordsman's skill to chop the spirit-stealing monster that was flying quickly. It's just a small scout, and it can be easily dealt with. You must move forward quickly. Take silver steps, charge, escape, and climb. Su Mu continued to activate skills and quickly headed towards the top of the mountain. Click. The lightning struck down a bolt as thick as a bucket, and Su Mu could feel the hairs on his hair stand on end, and the air was filled with static electricity and ozone. Lightning struck a cloud in the distance, and countless blue rays of light exploded immediately. The strong man made a move, attacking the large force of the Ghost Clan in the distance. Su Mu was speechless secretly. A strong man deserves to be a strong man. This blow may cause millions of damage. But he didn't dare to stop and moved forward quickly. The strong human beings shot, which means that the strong Ghost Clan also appeared. At that time, the level 99 Silver Swordsman will be just delivering food. Su Mu had deduced several times in his mind, and said decisively, "Summon, Eye of Nothingness." Title. Activated by the strong blood desire, a flash in the air, and the Eye of Nothingness appears. In an instant, Su Mu has a 360-degree panoramic view. Sure enough, he was overjoyed, because you can wear titles infinitely, you can bring out the Eye of Nothingness. The Eye of Nothingness is useless on the bloodthirsty peak where private fighting is forbidden, but once it goes out to the outside world, it becomes an extremely powerful auxiliary summoner. The Eye of Nothingness has a panoramic vision, and can directly see through objects with low energy levels. Equipment and enchanted items cannot be seen through, but most of ordinary clothes, soil, rocks, and doors can be seen through directly. Moreover, the Eye of Nothingness, as the name suggests, does not exist on the main plane. It straddles the four main planes of energy, wisdom, life, and space, and even includes the small plane of the secret realm of Thirst Peak, which can switch to hide at any time to avoid attacks. The light sphere seen is just its projection on the material plane, and has no entity or weight. Monitor the plane of life. Hiss, so fast. Su Mu just gave the order when he saw a violent energy body flying towards him. With a dodge, he spilled a soul bomb with his backhand, which exploded instantly. Colorless flames exploded in the air, and the energy body lost its target and floated in the air. But Su Mu hurriedly hid and climbed in steep places, out of the observation range of the Ghost Clan. The soul bomb is a prop bot, 200,000 apiece, it really hurts. The reappearance of the secret realm will give the player the ability, but at the same time, he can also use his own things. It's just that very few people do this. Why bother wasting your money in a secret realm without rewards? And high-level professionals, even legendary, saint-level, and god-level powerhouses, cannot rely on their own abilities to get a higher rating. If the level is too high, the rate of change of time will be destroyed easily, causing the entire secret realm to collapse. So low-level people are reluctant to use high-level props, and high-level people can't use abilities. Su Mu quickly climbed the cliff, while letting the Eyes of Nothingness monitor the plane of life, observing, avoiding the strong Ghost Clan. Observing with his Eyes of Nothingness, he quickly discovered several powerful auras, and immediately moved away, continuing to go up the mountain from another road. If you are targeted, quickly throw the soul bomb to gain a gap to escape. The lightning and thunder on the top of the mountain became more intense, constantly bombarding the Yunli and Fengli ghost race. The camp at the foot of the mountain kept screaming, and countless people were being swallowed. These people have been dead for decades, but they will die again and again in the secret realm of reappearance. Not good. Su Mu's complexion changed suddenly, and he saw a cloud of dark light rushing towards him at high speed. He touched his pocket, and the soul bomb inside was empty. Oops. Su Mu had climbed halfway, and the props had already been used up. Fireball, lightning bolt, charge, leaping over the moon. Su Mu quickly used his skills, trying to stop the attack of the strong ghost clan. But the opponent's level is too high, these skills have no effect at all, and they pass through instantly. Su Mu had no choice but to grit his teeth, cast the Star Silver Step, and rush up the mountain 2 steps as much as possible. Swish! The strong ghost clan passed through Su Mu's body and drained his soul instantly. The body of this level 99 silver swordsman died. The moment Su Mu died, he regained consciousness in an instant. At this time, the world in front of his eyes has become black and white, and all the environment has become a wave, no longer showing the original appearance. Su Mu was overjoyed. Sure enough, because the additionally worn title cannot be detected, it can be used in the Recurrence Secret Realm. The last time he was in the Undead King's Secret Realm, he was in a trance, and he didn't know whether the title of Undead was valid. Tried it again now, and it worked. Now Su Mu is dead, but not completely dead. He needs to be revived within 600 seconds and within 1000 meters of the corpse, otherwise he will be forced to stand up on the spot. Su Mu looked at the world that turned into black and white, and controlled her body to float upwards. 1 kilometer is already far enough away from the corpse, hoping to get rid of the perception of the strong ghost clan. Time is tight, although Su Mu has 600 seconds, 10 minutes. But the strong human beings on the top of the mountain may not be able to last that long. Su Mu reached 999 meters and felt that he could not go any further. Although there were no obstacles ahead, he was blocked by an invisible wall. Use skills to be indestructible, resurrect. Swish. Su Mu stood firmly on the rock with both feet, her life, mana, energy, and physical strength all recovered to full value, and all the items on her body followed. He is fully resurrected. This is a real magical skill. Some professions also have similar recovery skills, but they all have very huge restrictions. This kind of resurrection skill that can freely choose the location and bring all the items is unique. Eye of Nothingness. Su Mu hurriedly summoned the Eye of Nothingness. The moment the panoramic vision appeared, he sensed that a powerful energy was sweeping from the plane of life. It's still the strong ghost race man who was discovered. So fast. Su Mu's face turned pale. Without hesitation, he used all his acceleration and displacement skills, and ran up high. Only 2 seconds later, the pale blue light drifted past. The name of the ghost tribe is like a spirit body, but it is actually a special life. Because the life force of the 6 elements is too strong, it can exist purely as life energy without being attached to matter. However, the attributes of human beings are relatively balanced, and many factors such as matter, life, wisdom, and energy are involved. So Su Mu wants to let the Eye of Nothingness monitor the plane of life, so that he can better see the ghosts. He ran up for less than half a minute, when a light blue light flashed across, and he died suddenly again. So fast. Su Mu couldn't help cursing. The level of this monster is too high to compete at all. Su Mu has also entered this reappearance mystery before, and Gigi is at the foot of the mountain. Now that I have sprinted halfway up the mountain, I realize how difficult it is. He made preparations, and with the eyes of nothingness that could see life energy, he still died twice in a short period of time. Fortunately, I didn't enter until the last day, otherwise my life would not be enough. Su Mu reached 999 meters again, revived, and rushed upwards again. 1 life can be recharged in 24 hours. Su Mu is currently level 10 and can store 5 lives. Su Mu waited until the last day, with sufficient resurrection layers, before entering the challenge. But I still didn't expect that the strength of the monsters here was beyond imagination. Half a minute later, Su Mu had already climbed to the last quarter, and was killed by the strong ghost race again. The light blue light cluster of this ghost clan turned into scarlet, and it was also rather depressed. How could this person not be killed? This mountain is really high, hurry up, we will reach the top of the mountain soon. Su Mu bangs, revives, and charges. He still has 1 last life, and 1 more chance to fight. If you die after consuming all the chances of resurrection, you will enter a 24-hour weak state, which is unacceptable to Su Mu. Therefore, this time must succeed. Charge, Star Silver Step, climb, charge and jump. Su Mu quickly moved towards the top of the mountain, and he could already see the edge of the platform on the top of the mountain, as well as the halo cast by the strong human being on the top of the mountain. But at this moment, he felt a chill down his spine. The Eye of Nothingness saw that a huge cloud of scarlet mist was galloping towards this side. It's still one step away. We must arrive. Su Mu gritted his teeth, and burst into Su Mu again, crazily hitting the top. Clack clack. He felt that the sweat on his back was frozen into ice, and the bone-piercing cold filled his organs, as if his joints were going to freeze. The Ghost Clan strongman has arrived. Quick, go faster. Su Mu charged wildly, and suddenly his expression changed. He saw his health drop rapidly. According to the previous times, it only takes 1 second for him to be sucked to death by the ghosts. Hold on for another half a second. With a leap, Su Mu finally jumped over the edge of the platform on the top of the mountain and jumped into the air. Successful. Seeing that the life value was almost zero, Su Mu suddenly froze when he was about to rejoice. A huge halo of light burst out on the top of the mountain. The ring of light is like a bearing, carrying endless smaller balls in the middle, constantly rotating and rolling. And the small ball and the large aperture, and the objects that come into contact with it, are all silently reduced to dust. No, it's not that there is no sound, but even the air is annihilated, and all matter and energy are swallowed up. The circle of light and the sphere, with a silent but destructive aura, swallowed Su Mu and the ghosts behind him. That strong human being activated the forbidden spell. Su Mu was instantly engulfed, and then returned to the world of black and white. Is it a step too late? Su Mu sighed. I almost caught up with the Abyss Mage and entered his time fragment. It was a pity that Su Mu was still a step too late to catch up. This journey was too dangerous. He had created the Eye of Nothingness and carried 4 extra lives, but he still failed. I really can't figure out how powerful the 3 people who met the Abyss Mage before are. Forget it, maybe this is fate, I can't force it. Su Mu shook her head, a little disappointed, but not yet desperate. I have accumulated experience this time, and I will do it again when I save 5 lives. It's just that my plan to accumulate enough ability before the college entrance examination was shattered, so I had to settle for the next best thing. It's strange, the Abyss Mage is also dead, the space-time fragment should end, why wasn't I sent out? Su Mu was puzzled for a while, but still followed the procedure, chose a location on the mountaintop platform, and chose resurrection. Swish! Su Mu appeared on the top of the mountain in an exquisite robe and holding a long staff. But as soon as it appeared, Su Mu was stunned. A new title has been obtained. Abyssal Wise Man Not Worn. Su Mu was taken aback for a moment, then exulted, successful. It was successful. He lowered his head, only to see that he had changed to another actor. When he first entered the secret realm of reappearance, Su Mu played the role of a level 99 silver swordsman. And now, he is obviously a legal profession, the strong human being, the Abyss Mage. Su Mu suddenly understood. Because I have passed the junction and entered the space-time fragment of the Abyss Mage. So the moment I use the forbidden spell, I happen to play him at that time point. Although I still used the last chance of resurrection, it was the Abyss Mage who was resurrected. Su Mu was overjoyed, he was ready to fail, but unexpectedly he hit the right button and succeeded. He quickly checked the title skills and was immediately speechless. Abyss Wise Man. Abyssal Wisdom. Mana increased by 10,000%, and mana regeneration increased by 10,000%. Chaos Ability. All spells are greatly enhanced, and the highest critical strike can reach the legendary level. Cold Mind. Passive. Sanity will not drop below 85%. Active. Immune to charm, hypnosis, control, terror, berserk and other effects, lasting 36x sanity seconds. It's too strong, it's really too strong. Su Mu was surprised and delighted. Compared with the title of Pure Defense of the Undead, this set of Abyssal Wise Men is all about attack. Abyssal Wisdom adds 100 times mana, and 100 times mana recovery, so you will never lack mana in this life. Moreover, many large spells require several people to activate. With 100 times the mana, he can unleash mega magic spells by himself. The Chaos ability can strengthen all types of spells. Su Mu clicked on her panel and entered the Fireball interface. Fireball normal chant for 1 to 25 seconds, release a fireball, causing 20 to 300 plus 0.4 AP fire damage, with a burning effect. Ding! Su Mu heard a voice. Chaos can only be activated. Fireball, normal, has been enhanced to destroy world and burn hell, legendary. World Destroyer and Burning Prison, legendary, sing for 2 to 15 seconds, release a world-destroying flame to a limited area, causing 7,500 plus 2 AP points of flame chaos damage, and may have burning, pain, serious injury, and confusion effects. Su Mu was shocked, and then overjoyed. It's too strong, it's really too strong. AP is spell power, linked to spirit. Most of the spells are AP bonuses. The higher the spell power, the higher the effective damage, curse, and healing skills. In contrast to this is AD, attack strength, which is linked to strength and agility. The higher the AD, the higher the attack strength, and the stronger the physical, bleeding, blunt, and piercing damage. Different architectures have different definitions. In some places, AP attack power also refers to attack power. Here we separate this book. AP ability power is spell power, and AD attack damage is attack power. Fireball is a bar that reads from 1 to 25 seconds, and the panel damage is 20 to 300 points, plus 0.4 times the magic power, spiritual bonus, of fire damage, plus a small continuous blood loss. And the legendary level Destroying World and Burning Prison is not only AoE, but the panel damage is as high as 7,000 to 50,000 points. And the spell power benefit is doubled, several times stronger than Fireball. At a high level, the spirit attribute points up, the AP number is high, and the growth of this spell will be stronger. Not to mention, there are a series of negative effects. Burning, pain, serious injury, confusion, any one of them is unbearable. Su Mu was very excited. No wonder these strong men are so good, one person can beat an army. Their skills are too imba, each one is unreasonable. Fortunately, Su Mu is more imba than them, and one person can have the titles and passives of N superpowers. It's much more comfortable to think about it this way. Su Mu looked at his skill bar. There were a lot of basic legal skills. Lightning Strike, Cone of Ice, Air Shock, Strong Wind Curse. Gouda. Su Mu swallowed involuntarily. These skills can also be transformed into. Su Mu shook his head, retracted his thoughts, and quickly looked at the last skill. With a cold mind, the sanity is always above 85%, and there are active skills that can release various mind control skills. At present, it doesn't seem to be of much significance. There are not many illusionists, and they can only be effective in places where hallucinations can occur. Wait, a place where hallucinations can occur. Su Mu was taken aback, and soon thought of something. Click. Just when Su Mu was in a daze, a slight sound suddenly came from not far away. He turned his head, only to be surprised to find that not far away, there was a ghost clan, inserting things into the ground. Is there still alive? Su Mu was slightly surprised. But when he took a closer look, his expression changed drastically. The thing that the ghost tribe inserted into the ground was an memory crystal. Memory crystal. Su Mu seemed to think of something, and was shocked. Wait, memory crystal, isn't it left by the Abyss Mage? According to historical records, the powerful human Abyss Mage cast a forbidden spell, bringing the ghosts several kilometers around and turning them into the most basic particles in the world. At the last moment, the Abyss Sage used his last strength to leave memory crystals, which recorded the situation at that time, and were chased by humans as heroic spirits. But now Su Mu saw that it was a strong man of the Ghost Clan who inserted memory crystals into the ground and wrapped them with a spell shield. What's going on here? Su Mu was surprised. His spiritual power has improved a lot, and he can clearly feel that the aura on the spell shield is the Abyss Mage himself. What exactly is going on? Why do ghosts still survive after the curse? Roar. Su Mu suddenly felt a palpitation, and the incorporeal Wraith Clan let out an inaudible roar. In the next instant, the enemy had already unfolded like a film, and a colorless aura shot out. The Abyss Mage played by Su Mu sensed the attack instantly. Instinctively, a huge shield appeared around the body. Long, an indescribable sound drilled into Su Mu's ears. It was two energies colliding, making an uncomfortable sound. Strange, the plot shouldn't be like this. Su Mu frowned, and could only wave the scepter of the Abyss Mage. Never mind, kill this monster first. He cast the skills of the Abyss Mage, and shot epic spells at the opponent one by one. This wraith is a dread spirit, a very powerful type of the pack. Its body flickered, and even the light blue mist disappeared without a trace, and several epic spells hit the air. In the next moment, it appeared around Su Mu again, releasing weird roars and waves. Sweat dripped from Su Mu's forehead, struggling to resist. He is too far behind the level of the Abyss Mage, and now he can use skills, but he is very unskilled. But this time the situation is different from that of the Undead God King. In the previous secret realm of reappearance, the Undead God King would act on his own and take the initiative to kill tens of thousands of troops. But this time the Abyss Mage only has a little bit of instinct, which can at most assist Su Mu to release high-level spells. Because the limit of time fragments has been exceeded, the Abyss Mage of this time has died, so he has no ability to move. Su Mu felt a lot of pressure. He is very unfamiliar with high-level spells, and the strength of the horror spirit opposite is not inferior to that of the Abyss Mage. One ebbs and another, defeat is only a matter of time. What should I do? The skills of the Abyss Mage are advanced enough, but they can only be tied. Su Mu was a little anxious. This period of time has surpassed history, but it is still in the reappearance of the mystery, continuing in another form. And he has not been kicked out of the secret realm yet, indicating that the rate of change of time has not reached the limit. Now Su Mu has tried his best, but the gap in the middle is too big. The terrifying spirit is a first-class powerhouse. If it appears in a human city, it only needs a soul-stirring roar to crush the hearts of more than half of the people. Only a powerhouse of the same level as an Abyss Mage can resist. But because at this point in history, the Abyss Mage has died, and now he is just Su Mu's auxiliary spellcasting machine, which cannot be defeated at all. Su Mu was sweating on his forehead, trying to use his barrier skills to resist the Terror Spirit's attack. If you die here, there is no chance of resurrection, and you will enter a 24-hour period of weakness. Although he has won the title of Abyssal Sage, it is not a big turnaround, but it will always affect Su Mu's plan. I have to go out, I have to find a way. Su Mu waved his hand, and instinctively released the legendary spell Abyssal Blow, repelling the Terror Spirit again. But the other party just flashed his figure, and then appeared near the barrier again, releasing colorful black, constantly disturbing Su Mu's sanity. Su Mu felt dizzy, but quickly regained her senses, and couldn't help but rejoice. Fortunately, I just got a cold mind, which can just resist the mental shock. If it is a complete form of Abyss Mage, relying on thinking to resist, there is a high probability that it can kill the horror spirit. But now the difference is here, Su Mu is just a fake Abyss Mage, there is no way at all. Leave, or really die once, and be resurrected weekly. No, it will affect the follow-up plan too much. Su Mu thought. Then disturb the time and create different branches, so that they will be rejected. But how to achieve it? Su Mu tried to leave the battlefield, but the horror spirit had already fixed his eyes on him and could not leave at all. And every time the opponent attacks, it will cause a huge amount of damage, and even the magic barrier may not be able to block it. Thanks to Su Mu's passive immortality, he can recover tens of thousands of health points every second, barely resisting. The situation was at a stalemate all of a sudden, and if it dragged on, it would only fail. My biggest hole card is the Undead. As long as you don't wave, you won't die. Su Mu thought. Abyssal Sages are very strong, but they are still far inferior to holy-level horror spirits. What other cards can be played? That's right. Su Mu's eyes suddenly lit up. There is another title. He looked at the panel, where there was a surprise. Title: Backtracking Master. Can look back on the cooling time of any ability, and the cooling time of this talent is determined by the cooling time of the backtracking ability. Su Mu looked at the Abyss Mage's panel again, and there was a skill lying at the end, with a 7-day cooldown period. Forbidden Curse. Frost-soaked annihilation. Destroy all life within 7 kilometers, including yourself. Su Mu smiled. Clear the cooldown of Frost Annihilation. He paused. Release Frost Dip Oblivion. The frightening spirit on the opposite side showed frightening fluctuations. Chapter 21. What else can affect time more than an additional forbidden spell? A big trap and small circle appeared, sweeping everything within 7 kilometers again. Scary Spirit lost 99% of his body in an instant. It sent out painful fluctuations and quickly disappeared without a trace. Su Mu felt a great sense of repulsion, and at the last moment, he looked at the engram. The mana shield was easily destroyed by the frost-soaked annihilation, and the memory crystal didn't last long, and it was also shattered into slag. Relying on the last perception of the Abyss Mage, Su Mu clearly felt that there was an undetectable ghost aura hidden in the innermost part of the memory crystal. The next moment, Su Mu stood in front of the gate of the secret realm. Back, he immediately clicked on the panel, and then breathed a sigh of relief. There is no debuff that reduces 99% attributes, which means that he did not die at the last moment. Fortunately, I made the right bet. Su Mu patted her chest in fear. After all, it's the forbidden spell that I released, so it's still biased. After the globalization of data, magic has become a delicate discipline. But in terms of casting, it can be roughly divided into before casting, during casting and after casting. Frost-soaked oblivion destroys itself, and opens the back door a little bit, allowing death after the cast is over. The difference was only a few milliseconds, but obviously the time repulsion was faster, and Su Mu was ejected before the Abyss Mage died again. If we look at the linear time, the Abyss Mage died again in his own reappearance, offsetting the death of the actor Su Mu. Su Mu suddenly felt something strange about the palms patting his chest, and he couldn't help but look. What is this? To his surprise, he held a ring in his hand. It looks like a black iron material with simple runes on it. Salt, iron. Su Mu read out. Acquired item. Ring of Salt and Iron, legendary. Ring of Salt and Iron, legendary. Spirit plus 50x, level, dynamic. Lord of Ocean Currents. Manipulate or strengthen the salt within 100 meters, no cooling time, the effect depends on the spirit. Deep Sea Relic. Consume iron to summon a piece of equipment no lower than elite level. The higher the quality of iron consumed, the higher the quality of the equipment. Cooldown. 6 hours. Su Mu was overjoyed. The equipment is ready. He performed an identification technique on the gate of the secret realm, and found that it gave an SSS grade. So that's how it is. Although it's a reappearance secret realm, there are still rewards. Su Mu nodded, but she also understood in her heart. This piece of equipment might have come from the Abyss Mage, it was considered one of the relics. If I want to do it again, I'm afraid there will be no more prizes. He looked at the ring carefully and put it on his hand decisively. Su Mu suddenly felt refreshed, and his attributes improved a lot. This equipment is so strong, it turns out to be a dynamic bonus, and it will become stronger as it goes forward. But what do these two skills mean? One skill is to manipulate salt, and the other is to sacrifice iron. Do you want to use salt to perform magic tricks? Then you have to bring a meal of iron on the battlefield. Young man, how is the sight? Just thinking about it, the old administrator passed by and asked with concern. Su Mu smiled. I am very encouraged, I feel the will of the seniors. The administrator smiled gratifiedly. Now there are fewer young people with such a heart. Su Mu nodded. I'm done visiting too, so I won't bother you, goodbye. Hey, well, I'm in a hurry. The administrator was a little reluctant, but he could only wave goodbye. When she was about to leave this floor, Su Mu turned her head and glanced at the memory crystal behind the glass cover. This thing is weird. Su Mu walked out of the Heroic Spirit Memorial Hall, and the time had already reached noon. He counted the time, turned on the phone, and all kinds of missed calls and messages were bombarded in. Most of them belonged to classmates, and they were still asking where he was. Su Mu directly chose to ignore it. There are also many mothers and younger sisters who send messages when they see that the phone cannot be connected. Amu, your teacher called and said you didn't go to school. Amu, please reply a message, so that mother can rest assured. Amu, where are you? I'll go find you. The tone changed from blame to worry, and Su Mu was heartbroken, and quickly made a call. I'm sorry, Mom, I have special training today, so I didn't go to school. Well, I'm fine, very good, don't worry, when have I let you down before? Don't worry, if you persist for another 2 days, I will soon let you live a good life. Sus Mother Jing wrong side. The child has grown up and has his own ideas. You do it. Mom has only one request, not for a good life, but for you and Anon to be safe. Su Mu nodded. Okay, I remember. After hanging up the phone, he clenched his fists, his eyes flashing with fighting intent. Only if you are really strong can you be safe. Turning off the phone again, Su Mu strode forward without stopping. What happened this time was not planned, but because of the unexpected harvest, you can give it a try. Su Mu sat in the car, and soon arrived at a door of a secret realm, and passed through it with ease. On the summit of Bloodthirsty, Captain Tien, who was guarding the gate, looked surprised. You level 10 kid, why are you here again? Su Mu wore a ghost mask and smiled slightly. I'm here to clear the road to madness. Captain Tien was stunned. What? Before he could react, Su Mu had already left quickly. This brat, do you really think this is a playground? Captain Tien shook his head. The portal flashed, and several professionals walked in. Old Tien, what are you talking about? Captain Tien smiled and said, it's nothing, I heard that someone wants to clear the road to madness. Ha ha ha, several people suddenly laughed. Dream, no one has been able to clear the road to madness after the emergence of the Bloodthirsty Pinnacle secret realm. There are a few people who can go very far, and they all become strong. Don't talk about clearing the customs, walking 1,000 meters is a big deal. There are a lot of equipment and skills that increase defense, but there are few that strengthen the mind. The road to madness is simply not for people to go. That's why, Captain Tien said, he's just a kid who doesn't know the heights of the sky and the earth. Su Mu summoned the Eye of Nothingness, with a panoramic warning, and reached the road of madness with ease. But just arrived here, but met an acquaintance. You haven't left yet. Su Mu saw that Shui Wenwu and Ding Mi were still here. The two were also taken aback. Why are you back? Shui Wenwu thought for a while, and suddenly said, I understand, you haven't found the way out. Or there are people blocking the door outside, so you dare not go out. He was in a mess right now. All the equipment on his body had been turned into rags, his hair was messy, his mouth and eyes were crooked, and his hands and mouth were full of blood. Seeing Su Mu, Shui Wenwu is still very proud to have a weak person who can say hello. Su Mu took a second look at him, and the injuries on his body were mostly abrasions and scratches, just matching the marks of his hands and teeth. Obviously, on the road to madness, Shui Wenwu did not encounter an external attack, but attacked himself. Only insanity would do that. Ding Mi smiled at Su Mu. Brother Shui has reached 400 meters, and he also got a level 70 gold weapon. Unfortunately, the attributes don't match, so we can only trade it. Shui Wenwu looked proud. 400 meters, do you know what the concept is? Su Mu shook her head. Shui Wenwu said, even for Tianzhao, at this level, he can only advance 500 meters at most, and then he will fall into a fatal illusion and lose himself. Going further in, every additional 100 meters is a natural moat. It is said that after passing 5 kilometers, you can conquer the road of madness and win the top title. Su Mu's eyes lit up. Really? Shui Wenwu sneered and said, don't overestimate yourself, you are only level 10, you haven't changed your job yet. If you can enter the path of madness at level 10, other masters may have to find a crack in the ground to get in. Ding Mi also said, yeah, let's take a look. We'll send you out after Big Brother Shui has a rest. Shui Wenwu said in dissatisfaction. What's the use of a waste of good luck if one's heart is higher than the sky? I'm not sending him out. Ding Mi could only sigh. Okay, I'll take you out later. Shui Wenwu suddenly became anxious. Ahem, I'm joking, anyway, it's not impossible to walk together. Su Mu shook her head. Go, I want to go in. Ding Mi wondered. Didn't you experience it just now? If your sanity drops too much, it will still have an impact, and you will have psychological problems in the future, let's forget it. Seeing that she cared about others, Shui Wenwu said jealously, hee, let him in, I don't know how to write dead characters. Before he finished speaking, Su Mu had strode forward, stepping on the seemingly ordinary gravel road. Ding Mi became anxious immediately. Hey, wait. When she raised her hand, there were several buffs, environmental resistance. Be determined, holy protection. However, just a few meters away, a film of light appeared on the gravel road, blocking all the buff spells. Shui Wenwu was even happier. It's useless, once you get in, the outside world can't help you. Let him go, I'm afraid he will come out crying soon. And the moment Su Mu embarked on the road to madness, he felt his brain tighten. In an instant, he saw many hallucinations in front of him. There are beauties in simple clothes, piles of equipment, enemies you don't know but hate, and the closest people. These intentions constantly tempted Su Mu and stimulated his heart. Su Mu's mood was aroused, and she continuously felt violence and greed filling her heart. He wants to let go of himself, become a wild beast, and plunge into the endless precious treasures. And at the same time, a cold breath flooded into his mind, clearing away most of the uncomfortable feelings. Su Mu looked up again, still seeing endless hallucinations. But this time, those intentions became much thinner. It's like changing from VR to 2D movie. Although it is very realistic, it can be clearly recognized as fake. The cold mind is in effect. Su Mu called out the panel and saw that his sanity was firmly locked at 85%. His sanity was reduced by 15%, which made him feel uncomfortable, such as dizziness, nausea, and restlessness. But no matter how tempting those circumstances were, they couldn't lower Su Mu's sanity. As he strode forward, the hallucinations became more numerous, more varied, and more seductive. But in front of the cold mind, 85% of the rationality can clearly distinguish that these are illusions. Su Mu couldn't help showing a smile. The most difficult road to madness, he didn't expect to be restrained by a skill. Now he is like having a lucid dream, and he can wander comfortably in it. Sanity-boosting spells are rare, and sanity-locking spells are almost unheard of. Su Mu lamented that the Abyss Mage died early, so he didn't go to the Bloodthirsty Summit and swipe the data hard. But now he, stepping on this road, is like a fish entering the sea and a bird returning to the forest. It is extremely easy. Those miscellaneous hallucinations kept emerging, stimulating Su Mu's brain and senses. But to him, it's like a garbage 4D movie from a previous life. Messy pictures, noisy sounds, mechanical structures that spray water randomly, and very annoying movable massage chairs. It's really annoying, but that's all. The road to madness does not cause any physical damage, it will only continuously invade the mind of the entrant. 99% of the injuries suffered by the entrants were caused by self-mutilation during mental breakdown. But the current road, for Su Mu, it's too simple. Su Mu strode across, and in just a few minutes, he surpassed 400 meters. His sanity is locked at 85%, and his mood is disturbed and slightly irritable, but he can easily control it. If Shui Wenwu was here, he would probably be scared to pee on the spot. When he walked 400 meters, he had already consumed most of his mind. The phantoms he saw were not only terrifying, but also had a strong psychological impact. When Shui Wenwu passed by here, horrible human-faced lumps kept appearing on his body. At first he could still tell himself that it was fake. But the further he walked in, the more he doubted whether he had always had such facial sores on his body. Nearly 400 meters away, Shui Wenwu had scratched every part of his body, trying to tear off these terrifying faces with his nails. Dare to tear off a face, and more greasy arms and legs will emerge from the wound, as if flesh and blood plants are blooming on the body. Shui Wenwu's spirit collapsed, and he was teleported outside in an instant. And Su Mu passed 400 meters with ease, and saw lifelike appendages growing on his body. Those distorted flesh and blood can also transmit real touch. You can feel the body trembling with movement, and the breeze blowing when walking. But Su Mu just shook his head, didn't pay attention at all, and walked straight forward, crossing 500 meters in 2 steps. The accessory limb seemed to become annoyed, and grabbed Su Mu's neck, trying to suffocate him. Su Mu was a little surprised, and then took a deep breath. It's quite realistic. He felt the discomfort of suffocation, but the airflow in his throat told him that he was still breathing normally. The hallucination tried to manipulate his senses, but his rationality could still verify from another aspect that he was still normal. I have to hurry up. Su Mu roughly understood the mechanism of the hallucination and started to move forward quickly. 800 meters, 1,000 meters, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. Su Mu felt a surge of anger for no reason, as if she wanted to crush the whole world. Manipulating emotions, Su Mu took a deep breath. He was still angry, but he was able to control his body, not to do reckless things. Various illusions have appeared on the road, and Su Mu can even see that her mother and sister were invaded by foreigners and killed tragically at home. He squeezed his fist and said calmly, "It's all fake." Su Mu strode over the corpse and continued on. Just as he left, the corpses of relatives on the ground instantly turned into a puddle of acid water, exuding a highly poisonous aura. Su Mu simply lowered her head and walked forward on her own, regardless of anything that appeared. Click, slightly, click. On the gravel road, only Su Mu's footsteps were left. In the end, the sound of footsteps turned into the sound of water, as if stepping on the corpses everywhere. Regardless of what happened, Su Mu didn't look up. He didn't look to see who those bodies belonged to, but the information forced its way into his mind. Su Mu has traveled to 4,000 meters, which is a number that has never been reached by anyone. When normal people come here, their sanity may have been reduced by tens of thousands, and they will be deducted to a negative number, falling to the center of the earth. Even if he is sent out, his thinking has been destroyed and he becomes a lunatic. Even if you get advanced equipment, you don't have that life to use. Su Mu suddenly felt his surroundings light up, and when he looked up, he saw Shui Wenwu and Ding Mi, who were surprised. This came out. Su Mu was slightly surprised. Ding Mi suddenly said happily, "Congratulations, you have completed the road to madness." Shui Wenwu also sighed and shook his head. It's amazing, it's amazing. You are the first human being to complete the road to madness, and you must leave your name in history." Ding Mi stretched out his hand, trying to hold Su Mu. Let's go get the reward together." Su Mu didn't move. Ding Mi wondered, "What's the matter? Let's go together, it's over there, let's go there." Su Mu remained motionless. Ding Mi became angry, and his expression became cold. "Go, let me go. Otherwise, I will die here." Her face fell off with flesh and blood, and she turned into a corrupt zombie. "If you don't leave, you will die." Su Mu shook her head and continued walking forward. The two zombies howled behind him, but he ignored them. This time the hallucination was more realistic. If Su Mu didn't know in her heart, the behavior patterns of the two of them might have been really deceived. If it is another entrant, it will definitely be modified subconscious, instinctively thinks it is true, and does not think about it. But Su Mu still has 85% sanity left. Even if he didn't see through the hallucination for a short time, if he thought about it for a while, he could still find the clue. More than enough to cope with this situation. Su Mu's feet suddenly stopped, and he found that the surrounding area was lit up. 2 goals. He turned his head and saw the surprised expressions of Shui Wenwu and Ding Mi. Immediately, a voice came from my ear. "Completed the road to madness, Fury. Is it really done this time?" Su Mu looked around and confirmed it many times before he was sure that he had returned to the outside world. Ding Mi was surprised. "It was teleported out. Are you injured? How far is it?" Shui Wenwu sat on the ground, his face turned pale, but he still disdainfully said, "It must be enough to walk a few meters. After staying in it for so long, I'm afraid I wanted to rely on my reason to carry it, but I couldn't carry it in the end." Ding Mi raised his staff. Several recovery spells landed on Su Mu, and a warm breath surged. Su Mu glanced at her. "Thank you. Although no treatment is required, the body will be transparent and the sanity will slowly recover." Ding Mi was surprised. "Hey, the passive of radiant healing didn't trigger, so you weren't injured." There is a passive skill on her body, and people who are injured by milk will trigger radiant healing, and the healing effect will increase according to the degree of injury. But when the milk reaches Su Mu, only a 0% bonus pops up, which means that Su Mu has not lost a drop of blood. Su Mu nodded. "Well, I'm fine." Shui Wenwu felt uneasy for a while, although he was injured by self-mutilation, but in order to tear up the phantom of sores on his body, he even used his great skills. When he came out, he directly dropped to 50% life. Shui Wenwu said in a strange voice, "Hey, so you just hid when you entered? Don't you dare to go forward. I was overwhelmed. Seeing that you won the wrestling, I thought you could get a good result." Su Mu nodded. "I have completed the road to madness." Shui Wenwu was stunned for a long time before bursting into laughter. "Ha ha ha, you want to laugh me to death. Have you completed the road to madness? What is completion? This is a term you invented. Since the completion of this road, no one has been able to complete it. I'm afraid you are dreaming." A ray of light flashed, and Su Mu floated up. Completed road to madness, rage. Acquired a new title. God of Sin Rage Not Worn. God of Sin Rage. gain the aura of madness, and the sanity of all enemies within the range will continue to decrease. Your damage is increased by 0.25% for each 1% of your madness. For every 1% increase in the enemy's madness, the damage received increases by 0.5%. Acquired skill. Hammer of the Fallen Legendary. Hammer of the Fallen Legendary. Gather all madness and throw a hammer like an enemy, causing 5000x madness aura value plus 1.8 AD chaos damage and generating random chaos effects. Clears all insanity, but does not restore sanity. Cooldown. 6 hours. Su Mu was slightly speechless. These two things are so powerful. The title of Rage is obviously a match with Hammer of the Fallen. Wearing the title of Rage, before the sanity value is cleared, smash the Hammer of the Fallen, causing huge damage. The price is the accumulation of madness, which in turn reduces sanity. Su Mu immediately put on the title, and immediately felt restless in her heart, wanting to kill everyone she saw, and also wanting to self-mutilate and destroy her own body. But soon, he could clearly realize that this was just a negative effect of the title. After breaking away from the path of madness, the newly recovered sanity began to decline again. But soon, the cold-headed passivity locked his sanity at 85%. Su Mu observed that the crazy value in the debuff was still increasing, but he didn't feel any more discomfort. So strong. Su Mu was surprised. He did some research, and found that his madness increased by 1% every hour, which was 24% a day, which could increase the total damage by 6%. Even if you lie at home, you can become stronger by 6% every day and make steady progress. It will be 60% stronger in 10 days, and 600% stronger in 100 days. No matter where it is placed, it is a super awesome increase. And who dares to say that he can find new equipment and new skills every day to make himself 6% stronger? Moreover, if the Aura of Madness is activated for 1 day, the new skill Hammer of the Fallen can deal 5000x 24 plus 1.8 add chaos damage. Su Mu saw that he only had triple-digit strength, and 1.8 AD was no more than 1000. The damage is done entirely by the front panel value. However, this title is only for Su Mu. Not to mention anything else, if other professionals increase their crazy value by 24% every day. It was okay on the first day, but it was close to 50% on the second day, and it has become a real madman. No matter how high the panel attribute is, it has no effect. Su Mu has the Aura of Madness, and the minimum sanity is 85%, but she will be upset occasionally, and there will be no major side effects at all. Moreover, the Aura of Madness can also increase the madness value of the enemy and increase the damage taken by the opponent. When it takes effect on the enemy, it jumps every 10 seconds, and increases damage by 0.5% each time. It doesn't look like much, and it doesn't have much effect on ordinary monsters. However, it is normal for many large-scale hunting and crusades to fight for days and nights. As for world-class bosses, fighting for months, or even years, is possible. Once the time is extended, the damage will be increased by 5% for 100 seconds, 50% for 1000 seconds, and 500% for 10,000 seconds. As long as the time is long enough, all bosses are a piece of paper in front of Su Mu. It's too strong. Su Mu was overjoyed. She never expected that the unplanned road to madness would yield such gains. He looked at the panel and couldn't help thinking, rage seems to be the 7 deadly sins. Does that mean there are 6 more? Ding Mi looked at Su Mu floating in the air, and said in shock, he really cleared the road to madness. No, I have to take a picture. Technology products cannot be used in this secret place, so she immediately used the memory crystal to take a photo of Su Mu. Unfortunately, he is wearing a ghost mask, so I don't know what he looks like. Ding Mi wondered, but his fingers are very slender, so he must be very handsome. After Shui Wenwu was shocked, when he heard Ding Mi's words, he was immediately taken aback. Fart. He must be ugly to wear a mask. Let me pick him off. Forget it. Bloodthirst Peak cannot fight privately. Even if Shui Wenwu is level 70, he would not dare to attack a level 10 person. Ding Mi looked at Su Mu with curiosity in his eyes. Shui Wenwu snorted. What's so strange? It must be a skill that has been temporarily strengthened. Hey, is that so? While speaking, Su Mu also landed from the sky, and the energy fluctuations around him dissipated. He just heard someone asking, subconsciously nodded, "That's right." Shui Wenwu said proudly, "Look, that's right. No one has ever cleared the road to madness, and there has never been any information about foreign races. The farthest person can only reach 4 kilometers. There, the mental pressure has reached the limit. If you try to force a breakthrough, it will cause permanent damage. Those who can reach the depths are the strong ones, who is willing to pick sesame seeds and throw watermelons." He folded his hands and tried to find the place. "Okay, kid, let's go, don't be ashamed of yourself here." But Su Mu just made some calculations before entering the gravel road again. Ding Mi was in a hurry. "What are you doing in there?" Shui Wenwu was also surprised, but quickly said with a smirk, "Let him go, no one can stop him if he wants to die." Ding Mi cast a few more buffs, but they were all cut off by invisible membranes. She anxiously said, "He entered twice in a short period of time, I'm afraid it will cause mental damage." "That's his own business too," Shui Wenwu said happily. "I must feel that there is still room to spare, and I want to fight a wave. HMPH, overreaching. Let's go." Ding Mi shook his head. "No, I have to wait for him to come out. Entered twice in a row, the accumulated injuries must be very serious, I have to treat him." But she also had doubts in her heart. She gave Su Mu healing before, but it didn't trigger the radiant healing passive. Had he not self-harmed, but simply mentally damaged? Shui Wenwu snorted. "Just wait, I'm afraid that a madman with a nervous breakdown will come out." Su Mu entered the road of madness with ease, and after only 2 steps, she saw a red carpet appearing at her feet. When he looked up, he saw a white marble platform suspended in the air, with 5 pieces of equipment exuding an astonishing aura placed on it. The headmaster stood in front and said with a smile, "Congratulations on becoming the strongest god level ever. These are your rewards. Artifact, Strike of the Titans, the bullets fired can summon the gods of the wilderness, each of which is god level. Artifact, Crown of Thorns, which can lead the elves, and its 27 territories and worlds belong to you. God level skill, Great Sun Falls, let the sun of this world fall to the earth, and burn everything. God level potion, the king of all gods, after drinking it, he will become the lord of the heavens and command an army of 100 billion angels." Su Mu couldn't help feeling dry and swallowed. With so many artifacts in front of him, it was a great shock. "No, this is fake." Su Mu was suddenly in a trance, thinking that he was on the road to madness. Everything in front of him must be false. This level is greed. Su Mu's brain became clearer, and he quickly reacted. But even if he knew it was fake, he couldn't directly decipher the illusion. Those radiant artifacts were still placed in front of him, exuding an astonishing aura. Su Mu looked at the principal. "All these things belong to me." The principal smiled. "Of course, please allow me to introduce the last one. God level title, Eye of Delusion. Wearing it can penetrate people's hearts and see through all illusions." Su Mu couldn't help raising her eyebrows. What a coincidence. He stretched out his hand involuntarily, and grabbed the 5th gemstone, Eye of Delusion. The headmaster was still smiling, but the smile became more and more weird. Some people were greedy at random before, even if they knew it was an illusion, they couldn't break through it. Most people will be attracted by the artifacts and choose one or all of the artifacts. Then those people will completely fall into the illusion, and spend 100 years or 1,000 years in an instant. As they looked at the kingdom they built with artifacts, they exhausted all the foundations they had built with their minds. Falling apart among the increasingly greedy people, and because of pain and aging, he was unable to resist the assassination. Only then did he have a mental breakdown and was sent out of the road to madness. And because they have experienced hundreds of years and thousands of years in an instant, and they have broken away from the special rules of the road, these people's minds will be overloaded in an instant, and they will become lunatics. Others, like this young man, chose the Eye of Delusion, trying to use illusions to fight against illusions. But after using the Eyes of Delusion, they mistakenly thought that they had escaped from the path of madness and began to live ordinary lives. It wasn't until decades, hundreds, or thousands of years passed that they suddenly saw an unreasonable scene and realized that they were still in the illusion. And until he was in an illusion, the life and pursuit of so many years would be in vain. No one can accept this result, and it will collapse in an instant. Teleported out, also became a lunatic because of overload. No matter what you choose, it will be a dead end in the end. The principal smiled strangely, watching Su Mu's movements with a smile. Choose quickly. Whether you choose an artifact or the Eye of Delusion, there is only death. Su Mu picked up the Eye of Delusion, and the principal opened his mouth wide, ready to announce happily. Click. Su Mu put the Eye of Delusion back again. I don't want anything that doesn't work. I don't want either. Su Mu put the Eye of Delusion back on the table without hesitation. The headmaster's smile froze, and it took him a while to speak. How about, choose one? Su Mu said lightly. No need, they are not good things. The headmaster suddenly hesitated. This person doesn't want anything, so what should I do? He said, no, you have to choose a reward for advancing to the god level today. Su Mu shook her head. No. The headmaster's face became distorted. No. If you can't complete the ceremony, you'll be stuck here forever. He figured it out. If you don't want this person, just don't want him. If he is trapped in the illusion for 100 or 80 years, he will naturally be exhausted physically and mentally, and eventually he will have a mental breakdown. This is even more pitiful. Those who choose the artifact will at least spend their whole life in a happy illusion, and the few days when they discover the truth will be painful. Those who don't choose can only stay on this table boringly, waiting until the day when they can't hold on. More pitiful. The principal said, choose the artifact and complete the ceremony. Or wait here until the day you can't survive. But Su Mu shook his head. I choose the third one. The principal was puzzled. The third one. Su Mu said, well, let's make a deal. Principal. Deal. Su Mu said. I will tell you the location of your body, and you can show me a way out. The principal was shocked immediately, and his whole body twisted like water waves. What corpse? Su Mu laughed and said, what race are you? A human-faced spider. But there's a reptile tail at the back, which is weird. The principal's face was cloudy and uncertain, and his eyes were full of horror. How do you know? His race is called Spider Snake, who entered the path of madness many years ago, and after his mind collapsed, he committed suicide in it. While his body died, his soul continued to be bound in it, as a dynamic illusion, exerting pressure on other entrants. When the Spider Snake died, its spirit had already collapsed. But the secret realm does not allow it to rest, and uses special rules to force it to condense and continue to serve. For every second the spider snake lives, it suffers another second of pain. It wanted to commit suicide countless times, but how could a dead person die again? The spider snake didn't know how many years it had served here, and how many people it had broken down with its own hands, including many of its own kind. And the most painful thing is when a member of the same family has a mental breakdown and is about to be sent out. I saw the imprint on the body of the same family, that is its daughter. After it died on the road to madness, the daughter tried to retrieve her father's body, but she also collapsed in it. The spider snake was in great pain, and finally understood why this fellow was so persistent. Even though his mind was confused, he still wanted to move on. It just wanted to retrieve his father's body, and that little persistence became an accomplice to the collapse. The spider snake withdrew his thoughts, took a deep breath and calmed down, using his human appearance. For so many years, it has caused many people to collapse, but they did not expect that there would be a day when they would break their defenses. The spider snake said coldly, how do you know about my dead body? Su Mu smiled lightly, my skills are quite special. The spider snake looked gloomy and threatened, tell me all the secrets, or I will kill you. Su Mu was not in a hurry. This is the road to madness, there will be no physical damage. Also, isn't this level greedy? When did it become fear? Hey, the spider snake suddenly laughed, indeed, this level is greed. I failed to arouse your greed, but instead let you arouse my greed. You succeeded, you can receive the final reward. Su Mu raised her eyebrows. Could it be another illusion? As soon as the spider snake raised its hand, the red carpet under its feet straightened in the air, forming a road leading to infinity. Su Mu looked down and stepped on it without hesitation. He walked a few steps, and suddenly heard a voice behind him. The last transaction is completed, and I will make another one with you. ... Swish. With a flash of light, Su Mu was teleported to the periphery of the road to madness. Ding Mi was surprised again, it was teleported out so quickly. You are not injured. She raised her hand to heal, but the result was still various +0, +0, +0. Shui Wenwu looked unhappy. HMPH, it must have failed after only a few steps. Su Mu didn't respond, but looked down at the spider-shaped pendant in her hand. Spider Snake Pendant Common. Summons a death spider snake warrior in the form of a follower with a loyalty. It's a very simple white outfit, the only function is to summon a spider snake. The spider snake's soul has been bound by the road to madness, and it can no longer escape. Moreover, this race is still at war with human beings, so it doesn't dare to ask Su Mu to help him sincerely. This is a very worthwhile transaction. As a one-sided market, Su Mu has absolute bargaining power. Because the spider snake is dead, there is no loyalty, and it will always obey Su Mu. What Su Mu has to do is to go to the spider snake world and return its bones when it is no longer needed. Of course Su Mu agrees, having an extra helper is a good thing. A ray of light flashed, and Su Mu was suspended by strange energy fluctuations. The road to madness. Greed has been completed. The road to madness. Greed has been completed. Title obtained. God of Sin Greed. God of Sin Greed. Gain the heart of greed and constantly generate greed. The stronger the greed, the more experience points you get, the item drop rate is improved, and the drop may be of higher quality for critical strikes. Su Mu was startled, then overjoyed. This thing is good. He turned on the greedy heart skill, and soon a strong desire to ask for it appeared in his heart. As before, sanity is still locked at 85% and will not decrease any further. With this skill, if you get something in the future, it is possible to crit to a higher quality. And it's a resident passive, every reward can be judged once. Just as he was thinking, there was a ding in his ear. Enhanced Potion Master has been obtained. Strengthening Potion Master, strengthening abilities, all skills are greatly enhanced. Ding. The Potion of Comprehension has been strengthened into Potion of Comprehension Legendary. Potion of Enlightenment Legendary keeps enlightened for an hour after use. Su Mu was taken aback. There is such a strong potion. The state of epiphany can be encountered but not sought after. Once encountered, at least one can gain proficiency, and more can upgrade skills. The same fireball technique, after epiphany, not only reduces the consumption, but also increases the casting speed and power. This savvy potion is really rare. If it is really available on the market, it will not be able to beat billions of dollars. If a professional can get an epiphany, their strength can be greatly improved. Su Mu said with emotion, "Fortunately, I have the universal godhead, and I can wear titles infinitely. And the sanity is locked at 85%, and the heart of greed can be opened all the time. The longer the opening time, the stronger the things that may drop. If it is someone else, they will not use auxiliary skills without combat bonuses in combat. Even if they are activated, they cannot be maintained for a long time. These titles have side effects, and ordinary people will not wear them for a long time. Only when Su Mu can wear countless titles can he find a title that restrains each other." Next, Su Mu looked at the road to madness, and couldn't help but smile. It's such an easy place to earn titles, why don't you stay a little longer? Ding Mi swiped a few healers, staring at a bunch of +0s in a daze. This person wearing a ghost mask went in twice in a row, why didn't he get hurt at all? Didn't go in very deep, so the hallucinations are not strong, and there is no self-harm. Still, when she was in a daze, she saw that Su Mu had stepped into the path of madness again. Hey, why are you? Shui Wenwu was also taken aback, and then laughed loudly. Ha, don't admit defeat. Do you want to try again? I tell you, it's useless. If you can't make it through, you can't make it through, don't struggle. Ding Mi clasped his hands anxiously. What to do? He went in 3 times, could it be that he was insane and ignored the danger? Shui Wenwu looked in the direction of the gravel road proudly, and said happily, "Leave him alone, let's go." While talking, a few people came in and greeted happily when they saw someone of the same kind. "What's the good thing, so happy, did you get something good?" Shui Wenwu pointed to the gravel road, and said cheerfully, "There is an idiot who claims to pass the road of madness. He has tried twice and failed twice. Going in for the 3rd time now, I'm afraid there will be more bad luck than good luck. Later people looked at each other in dismay. Clear the customs. There is still a customs clearance on the road to madness. I know a big guy who has more than 1,700 levels and can walk up to 2 kilometers. Yes, the difficulty will increase exponentially in the future, and the requirements for reason are very high. The loss of tens of thousands and tens of thousands is simply unbearable. A group of people were talking, and Su Mu was teleported out again. Shui Wenwu felt a little regretful. Why didn't this annoying person die? But he still pretended to point at Su Mu. Everyone saw it. It's him, who claims to clear the road to madness. Look, it came out in a few minutes. It must not have taken many steps. A strange energy struck and lifted Su Mu into the air. Shui Wenwu still said strange words. I came out in a few minutes. I'm sure I won't get any good things, don't you think so? The people who followed looked at each other in blank dismay, their eyes full of surprise. Finally, one of them hesitated and said, I have seen that 1700 level boss. He has walked 2 kilometers, and he also has this strange wave. Shui Wenwu's smile froze, and it took him a long time to open his mouth. Maybe, just a coincidence. Or, this idiot just happened to trigger a certain mechanism and got a little good reward. The man continued. But, the strange energy obtained by that big brother is less than 1/10 of that of this little brother. Shui Wenwu was dumbfounded. The rest of the people were turbulent. Who is this little brother? The energy fluctuations in his body are so powerful. His distance cannot be less than 2 kilometers, he must have entered the deepest point. Will it really pass the level? To get such a huge fluctuation. A group of people are really stupid, they don't know what it is like to clear the road to madness. But the energy fluctuations on Su Mu's body really made people tremble. The fluctuations on Su Mu dissipated, he fell back to the ground, and opened his eyes. A person stepped forward and said cautiously, this friend, how far have you walked? Su Mu thought for a while. The road to arrogance is quite long, there are more than 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers. Everyone on the field was shocked and stunned in place. They don't know what the road of pride is, but they can understand it for more than 10 kilometers. A high-level boss can only walk 2 kilometers. Can this young man of level 10 pass more than 10 kilometers? This group of people subconsciously didn't believe it, but the fluctuations in Su Mu's body told them that it was true. This friend, why did you go in again? One person wanted to strike up a conversation, but Su Mu turned around and walked into the gravel road. A group of people were dumbfounded. What's going on? Brush again. Shui Wenwu seemed to have recovered his emotions, and said arrogantly, yes, you must have made a mistake. He has entered and exited like this several times, and none of them lasted more than 10 minutes. How could he pass the level? This group of people was also lost in thought. I dare not think about more than 10 kilometers, so I count it as 5 kilometers. In 10 minutes, a professional can easily run the entire distance on flat ground without obstacles. But this is the road to madness, every step is an illusion, and every meter of progress requires a huge amount of energy. Moreover, you will often encounter ghosts hitting the wall, turning around and going backwards while walking, which will even eliminate your sanity. Can the young man really pass the level after going in for 10 minutes? Shui Wenwu patted his chest. Believe me, he went in several times, and he didn't get any other rewards except for the weird fluctuation. It must be fake. Swish. Su Mu was teleported out again, floating in the air. In the next moment, a thin sword emitting dark purple light appeared in his hand. Legend, legend, a person exclaimed. Others took a closer look before noticing the extraordinariness of this sword. Although there is no pattern on the blade, the overall structure is exquisite and charming. It always seems that the line of sight is constantly being absorbed, and the whole mind is addicted to it. It's really a legend, but I can't see the specific attributes, so I need to identify it. My passive appraisal eye has been resisted. Such a powerful force, this eyeball is almost blind. Clear the customs, he must have passed the customs, otherwise how to explain? There is a saying that there is a customs clearance on the road to madness. Oh my God, we have witnessed history. A group of people blushed with joy. If it wasn't for the fact that this secret realm forbids private fighting, they would definitely go up and give Su Mu a big bear hug. I was rewarded with a legendary weapon. Besides clearing the level, what else could be the reason? Even if he was a little short of clearing the level, he could reach a sufficient depth in just a few minutes, which also showed that he had mastered absolutely special skills. To be able to step into the illusion, as if entering the land of no one. But this alone is enough to make people admire and willing to please and invest. After Su Mu finished checking, a person stepped forward respectfully. Hi, I'm Fang Yiming from the hunting group, and I want to make friends with you. I'm Lu Chengkai from the Lu family. It's a pleasure to meet you. This bottle of high-level vitality pill, a small gift, is not a respect. Hi, ghost friend, I'm Chen Kejin, the deputy head of the Greythroat Bounty Group. I see that you are short of a cloak, my friend. It just so happens that I have an extra triangular bull shawl, so I'll give it to you. All of a sudden, everyone gathered around, with friendly smiles, and kept fawning and giving gifts. No one paid any attention to the pale Shui Wenwu. This man has blind eyes, can't even recognize a peerless genius, and dares to speak satirically. This group of people has already secretly recorded Shui Wenwu's appearance and characteristics. If necessary, this person's head will be a stepping stone. Su Mu didn't react. It took a long time to come back to her senses, and thanked calmly, "Thank you, but I still have something to do now, please wait a moment." A group of people hurriedly waved their hands. You are busy, we have nothing to do, just come and watch the fun, ha ha. Su Mu nodded, turned around and entered the path of madness again. After the group of people were shocked, they couldn't help but sigh, genius, what a genius. I don't know which family's children, but the road to madness is as simple as breathing and drinking water. Envy, I can't achieve it in my life. Cough cough. Fang Yiming of the Chamber of Commerce warned with a serious face, I advise everyone, what you saw today is all rotten in your stomach, so don't spread it indiscriminately. Although this little friend is level 10, it is obvious that he has been instructed by an expert, and the level is suppressed. He only needs to change jobs and soar into the sky. If there are greedy people, take care of your hearts and don't do stupid things. A group of people nodded quickly, that's natural. They are flattering now. How dare they cause trouble? There is no way to fight privately here, and there is no treasure hunting at all. The news of being able to pass the road to madness will definitely shock the whole world. It's been so many years since the bloodthirsty peak, and I've never heard of such a thing as customs clearance. The rewards he received must be beyond everyone's imagination. It's just that everyone still doesn't understand one thing. Why did he go in so many times? Will there be rewards for repeated swiping? Generally speaking, it will drop sharply. Occasionally bring a trumpet and have experience. If you can't brush things off by yourself, it's a waste of time. The group of people watched Su Mu reappear at the entrance after a while, and before they could speak, they walked straight into the gravel road. Repeatedly, after several times, the people waiting at the door didn't see Su Mu come out for a long time. Did that ghost friend encounter any difficulties? It must have been half an hour since I went in this time. Is it because you swiped too many times, which triggered the resistance in the secret realm? It's possible. If you've wiped out all the rewards, what else will others do? Waited for a long time. It's been 2 hours, why haven't you come out yet? 3 hours. 4 hours. It's been half a day, why haven't you come out yet? The expressions of a group of people became more dignified, and they looked at each other with surprise in their eyes. He won't die in it, will he? Su Mu left the peak of thirst for blood. That group of people guarding the door is really annoying. Su Mu just tentatively asked the road to madness whether it could be teleported outside, but got a response. It seems that passers still have some hidden benefits. Su Mu checked the harvest. This trip was really fruitful. After obtaining Mad God Rage and Greed, 5 more special titles have been collected. Arrogance. Gain the Eye of Arrogance and keep becoming egotistical. The longer Eye of Pride gazes, the stronger the effect of the skill on the target. Jealousy. Acquired the Heart of Killing, wanting to kill all living things. The longer you have killing intent on a target, the more you will be able to discover the opponent's weakness. Laziness. Get the soul of laziness, and the attributes will continue to decrease. Skills can be prepared for infinitely extended spellcasting, resulting in infinitely superimposed power. Gluttony. Gain endless appetite and produce a strong sense of hunger. Can devour matter and gain its abilities. Lust. Gaining charisma. Su Mu couldn't help being speechless. Each of these titles is so strong that there is no limit. Moreover, the negative effects that ordinary people cannot resist are just offset by Su Mu's ability. Su Mu turned her gaze and saw an inconspicuous item in the title column. The eye that breaks delusion. It can penetrate people's hearts and see through all illusions. And sanity value increased by 10%. That was the title of one of the 5 artifacts when he entered the path of madness for the second time and obtained the title of Mad God Greed. For other entrants, they need to wear the item, Eye of Delusion, in order to have the same name. But Su Mu got this title at the same time when he grabbed the artifact. After he wears the title, he puts the props back, but still retains the ability. The SSSS level Universal Godhead takes effect. Even if there are no props left, it can still hold the title forever. This is almost a bug. Because of the delusion-breaking eye that sees through illusions, Su Mu was able to find the spider snake's corpse and proposed a deal. In addition, the sanity value increased by 10%, and Su Mu's sanity quickly recovered to 95%. This is already a normal state, and there is almost no discomfort. Those rage, greed, jealousy, negative emotions were all suppressed to the lowest level, so low that they didn't need to be ignored at all. It's too strong, it's a bug. Su Mu was also very excited. I'm afraid that the Lord of the Secret Realm didn't expect to be able to get the title for free, and it completely offset the negative emotions. The harvest this time is extremely rich. In addition to 7 titles, there are also a variety of high-end equipment. And because the level of Su Mu is too low, these equipments are also intimately turned into dynamic levels, which can become stronger as the level increases. There is one last stop. Su Mu took 2 deep breaths and calmed down. Although he is now invincible among people of the same level, he still cannot relax. If it is targeted by a high-level powerhouse, it is still a bigger ant. Don't take tenderness lightly. Su Mu took out a red crystal, which was the keystone of the Killing Realm. In order to reward him, the headmaster gave him this rare secret key. The Killing Realm is different from other secret realms in that there is no fixed door. As long as you crush the keystone, you can enter. Just in case, Su Mu went to the gate of the hospital first. He found a corner where no one was around, and crushed the keystone. Whoosh! He disappeared instantly. Not long after, the people in Peak of Bloodthirst also noticed something was wrong. Why haven't you come out yet? Could it be that he really died inside? The fall of a genius who can clear the road to madness is a big event. No, I have to go out and tell the family that this matter must be taken seriously. Level 10, is it a college entrance examination? Can the college entrance examination pass the road to madness? Is this world crazy? It's hard to say. Maybe a genius from some family has come out of the mountain. No, I have to go out too and inform the head of the team. Soon, many people left with deep expressions. The news was quickly passed in secret, and soon, under the calm Yanmang, there was an undercurrent surging, hiding various thoughts. Killing Realm, this is a world completely composed of killings. Boom, boom, boom. Wen dragged her teammate Yuan Lianyu and fled with blood on her face. Behind them, followed by a group of Xuanwo wolf eagles, this kind of wolf pack with wings, not only has strong limbs, but also runs extremely fast. It can also flap its wings, sprint into the air for a short time, and spit out fiery flames downward. Why are there groups of elite monsters? Wen ran away desperately with a look of horror. Yuan Lianyu was seriously injured and her blood volume was less than half, but she could only hold on and cast a silver-level ice cone technique behind her. More than a dozen Xuanwo wolf hawks chased after them. Even though the cone of ice attack hit them, they only slowed down a little and were melted by the flames. Swish swish swish. Xuanwo wolfhawk was enraged by the ice cone technique, raised its head one after another, and sprayed fiery fireballs at the 2 girls. Yuan Lianyu quickly set up the mana shield and forcibly drained the mana points that had dried up, making her face even paler. Boom! The mana shield only persisted for half a second before it shattered like glass. The 2 girls were also impacted by the explosion of the fireball, and were thrown far away, falling heavily to the ground. It's over. The 2 looked at the Xuanwo wolfhawk that was getting closer, with despair on their faces. But at this moment, swish, a figure suddenly appeared in front of the 2 of them. He was wearing a ghost mask and ordinary white clothes without attributes. A trace of guilt flashed in Yuan Lianyu's heart. Because of her mistake, the team was almost wiped out. And this person who had just been teleported to the killing secret realm also died at the mouth of the Xuanwo Wolf Eagle immediately because he entered the battle by mistake. Run away. Yuan Lianyu yelled, use all your escape skills, run away quickly. Here are all elite monsters. As the captain of the adventure team, Yuan Lianyu entered the killing secret with a few experts. Although this group of people are all level 10, everyone is wearing silver level equipment. Defense, output, treatment, and support are all extremely perfect, with almost no shortcomings. Yuan Lianyu planned to get a score of or above in the killing realm, so that everyone would have a rich harvest. But their confidence only lasted 15 minutes. After killing an elite monster, everyone felt that the monsters in the killing realm were quite powerful, but with the cooperation of a whole team, they could still be easily resolved. So a group of people entered the monster's lair, trying to kill a master-level boss, and get an A-level score. This group of people soon encountered Xuanwo Wolfhawk. Just a face-to-face meeting, the thigh was torn off in the shield battle. The rangers were still drawing their bows and nodding their arrows, when they were roasted by several balls of blazing fire. The poison maker was so frightened that his face turned pale, he tripped, and the highly poisonous potion he grabbed in his hand exploded all over his body. In less than 10 seconds, there was only one gorilla and one elementalist left in a complete team. Both of them are crispy skins, facing the elite monsters who can't even handle the shield battle. There is only one way to escape. Why are elite monsters so strong? Wen fell to her knees, her eyes full of despair. Only then did Yuan Lianyu understand that there is still a difference between elite monsters and elite monsters. The Xuanwo Wolfhawk is obviously very intelligent, and knows how to sneak attack, ambush, and fight in groups. The team paid the price for their ignorance. But when the two girls fell to the ground under the impact of the flames, waiting for death in despair, suddenly, a man wearing a ghost mask appeared in front of him. Run away. Yuan Lianyu couldn't help shouting, not wanting to involve others. Su Mu looked back and saw the group of Xuanwo Wolfhawks surrounded by a circle with fierce eyes. You don't need to waste time looking for monsters so quickly, that's good. He nodded. Seeing that the man didn't move, Yuan Lianyu thought he was stupefied, and shouted gratefully, this place is full of elite monsters, whose attributes are almost equal to level 30 monsters, run. I saw Su Mu pull out a purple sword and hang it by his side. He chanted under his breath, sparks emanating from the tip of his sword. Yuan Lianyu was in a hurry, don't even think about attacking them. It will only make them angry. Wen also murmured, are you a fool? This is a monster that is friendly to the fire element. It's useless to attack with fire. Yuan Lianyu also quickly said, yes, don't use fire to attack them. You go, we can't go anymore, I will try to hold them back as much as possible, you run away. As she spoke, she condensed an ice storm and tried to shoot at the Xuanwo Wolfhawk. And the mana value had already bottomed out, and this forced extraction directly caused her to suffer internal injuries, and she spit out a mouthful of blood. Scoff. The ice storm hit the elite level Xuanwo Wolfhawk, only a little white smoke came out, and it disappeared immediately. Xuanwo Wolfhawk looked down, then showed a mocking expression, and approached step by step. It's over. Wen couldn't help closing her eyes. This idiot doesn't understand how strong monsters are, we have to finish playing. But at this moment, Su Mu had finished chanting, raised his sword, and released the spell. Destroy the world and burn the prison. Rumble. A group of flames that seemed to be able to destroy the sky and the earth fell from the sky, and the dazzling light illuminated the entire sky. At this moment, all the fire elements around were taken out, and Yuan Lianyu and Wen even felt a little cold. And in the next instant, a wall of fire with a height of 100 meters rose from the ground, covering all 15-81,381. Extinguishing the world and burning the prison reads the full bar, which can cause 50,000 points of damage. Seeing that Xuanwo, Wolf, Eagle and Fire elements are compatible, Su Mu still took the title of Crazy God and Laziness, and after reading for a few more seconds, he dealt 80,000 points of damage. Crazy God Laziness. You can cast spells on skills infinitely, and the power is superimposed. The more than 1,000 in the back is Su Emu's current spell power, which can only be said to be better than nothing. The skills are so strong that he is now a numerical monster, and he can be invincible without wearing equipment. Yuan Lianyu was stunned. She looked at the pile of ashes around her. No, not even ashes. Even the ashes were blown away by the raging flame that seemed to be able to destroy the world, leaving only the ground with a slightly lighter color. What Xuanwo Wolfhawk, what fire element affinity? Under absolute power, there are only jokes left. As long as the spell is strong enough, the resistance is paper. Big brother, who the hell are you? Yuan Lianyu was frightened. Who is this person? Meeting him face to face is a big move. Wen covered her mouth, eyes full of disbelief. Impossible, I must be hallucinating. She exclaimed, the people who can come in are all level 10, how can someone be so strong? Su Mu didn't have time to talk to these two passers-by, but just listened to the prompts that popped up from the panel. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.